All right, welcome back to Untitled 4. We're running the Dragon's Table. Last time we left off, you guys were in the middle of a rather heated discussion. The ancient book of rituals had just been used. Clover had just used it, probably not even on purpose. She seemed to have just read aloud as she was reading, and it took her voice, leaving her in quite a distressed and frazzled state. Now you guys are in the middle of like a 6-7 person argument on what to do with it. I believe at this point everyone is awake. But last time, just to review, you guys settled into your cave. There was some talking to each other, just general party friendliness and or animosity, depending on who you ask. Um, I believe Cassandra got the first taste of really talking to Lady Gracia. The rest of you are also welcome to tempt her if you'd
You're not
like.
streaming the overlay to us about it.
Oh yeah, well nothing's happened, so that's okay. And then a bunch of conversations and confrontations were had. But there's still a lot that people have not yet revealed about themselves. There's still a lot that has not yet been asked, even though it seems that you're about to get at least some answers. You guys were still fighting over the ancient book of rituals. Remind me, who has it? Is it Clover?
I think it was Clover.
Clover is physically holding the book. Okay. But I believe Isidore was leading the charge in finding answers. What the hell's going on here regarding the book, regarding everything. And Cassandra was going to tell us about something called an ice dancer, which might be at the bottom of all of this, question mark. But before we get into that, let me, because I did actually do some work. So let me tell you guys what I did. When was the last time we played? It was in January,
I don't
right?
remember.
Yeah, it was in January at
Hold
some point,
on.
I believe.
I gotta scroll. Okay. So, all the critters in the creature manual have redone growths and stat blocks. Completely redone from the ground up. I restarted everybody. There's a couple new creatures. I'm gonna say don't look at the creature manual for a hot minute. Especially not the ice tab. Don't worry about it. Don't go in there. Don't spoil yourself. All the mythic weapons in the game now have an associated god that goes with them. This is only semi-relevant to you. You don't have to really worry about what goes with what, because you're only really dealing with one guy. The dragon rework completely happened. We don't have any dragons in this game, so that shouldn't be a huge thing, but you no longer gain skills through leveling, you get it through stat milestones. And your breath weapons no longer have the Fire Emblem Heroes effect of choosing to target damage or resistance. Because that was like literally one of the last holdovers from being a Fire Emblem project. There are brand new types. What's up?
I was at some point meaning to ask you. It's like, so you've been working on this a while. Is there any like residual Fire Emblem in there you have yet to chase out with the broom?
Definitely. There's definitely some skills that are not direct copies, but homages. There's a lot of weapons that are homages. But as far as mechanics go, the big ones that aren't like, it's an SRPG. I can't. Nothing to be done about that. But like the breath weapons, that's like one of the big ones because that's a heroes feature where you can target either one. But that has no relevance to the lore of this game, so goodbye. But yeah, there's definitely some other stuff in there I still have to root out. It's okay, we'll get there. But yeah, there's a whole mess of new dragons, so if you guys are interested in ever playing a dragon in the future, take a look at the dragon. The dragon's table. And peruse, because there's literally like, I'm gonna say quadruple the amount there were before, if not more.
Oh, yay.
Did Kangaroo Dragon make it in?
It will make it in. I haven't added it yet, but also Slenderman Dragon is a playable race, so thumbs up.
Wow. Oh no.
Is it just literally called that?
No, it's not.
Penguin.
I think they're called White Death. The White Death. And they're not actually Slenderman dragons. I just described them as like long and spindly and scary, and you see them before you die. And a thing I was throwing at the wall was that debating on giving human characters, because there's a lot of dragon races, and each one of them, you can turn to a dragon. You've got like this whole extra set of shit. So I was thinking about to kind of balance it, because humans are the weird animal race. They're the Khajiit of this game. giving them some sort of race-based minor perk to just sweeten the deal on that a little bit. Because at the end of the day, I would like most players to play human beings, but also I realize that they're one tiny category in a mess of much cooler shit. So I have to figure out what it might just be money. You might just start with a bunch more money, but we gotta see. That's not gonna be relevant to you guys. That's probably something I'm gonna finish after the game has reached its conclusion. Before we really start, can somebody check the Twitch chat to make sure our audio sounds okay? Or check Twitch.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll deafen here. Just keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I know that like the past few streams have had errors regarding like sort of how that audio has.
Okay,
come out.
2 people in the chat are already there saying
You're
it sounds
good.
good. Excellent.
Yeah, you're good.
Phenomenal. Excellent. Okay. So before we get started, does anybody have any questions? 3 people in the chat. Oh my god, everybody's here.
No.
No? We're good?
I'm
Okay.
I don't think I have any.
I honestly don't remember exactly like where the conversation was when we left off.
Go ahead.
Cassandra was about to explain ice
Okay,
dancer.
so it was very literally.
Yeah,
I think we ended on the cliffhanger of Cassandra's like, I know who that is, and then everyone else was like, what? And then I was like, stop! Freeze!
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Alright, then let's learn what an ice dancer is.
Okay, so we're jumping back into the scene. Everyone is tense around this smoldering fire. Cassandra, why don't you start us off? Clover is carefully clutching the ancient book of rituals, and I believe she is still near Maurice and looking quite distressed.
Alright. Sorry, I was being brought a drink.
Excellent.
Cassandra looks like a bit like he looks around like at the group at large here. I know he already sort of explained some of this to Conleth. But I know Conleth is asleep.
He was the one guy who's not awake. You're right. Forgot about that.
Cassandra told him what happened, and then he was like, "Nobody's dead. Okay, back to bed."
You need time.
And Cassandra is still sitting at his little blanket, hair fully down, because he also just woke up, and he's just kind of looking all about. And he's like, "Well, Ice Dancer is a god, but not one that is typically worshipped by humans. Humans tend to worship dragons. She's well, how does one even begin to describe such a thing? She's well, I've never seen her, of course. I don't think anybody here has. And that's probably for the best. Considering what she does. But she's
Can you make an insight check on the room?
Yeah. That is a 27.
Okay. Alphias makes a little bit of a face, but doesn't say anything.
Cassandra doesn't say anything, but internally is like, okay, I will be pestering you about that later. But he she's a performer, we'll say. And she likes to. Now, this is some information that I only learned recently from my conversation with Lady Gracia, but she's responsible for leaving those things that, well, Alphios and his companions were going to deal with. Let me think. Things that are relevant. She's most closely associated with, suicide and passion, I think.
That's a combination.
And she's, well, she's quite big. Gods tend to be, from what I gather. And I have a suspicion, well, even if she's not there, her belongings certainly are. I don't know if we'll see her or not, but she definitely has something to do with at least some of this. By this, I of course mean Siren's Rock, not the whole mess with the book.
From the outer circle of the conversation, Alpheus is gonna frown deeply, and he's gonna say, kind of under his breath, but so you can still see it, like hear him. He's gonna say, "Well, no one's going to be seeing her. Hopefully."
Oh, yes. Well, that would be ideal unless one wishes to kill themselves.
She won't be
Now,
there anyways. That's not what we do.
Hmm. I gathered as much from Lady Gracia. One can hope regardless, though.
What do you mean, hope?
He kind of tilts his head. Well, I believed I made it clear I was out here looking for God.
Stathis is gonna roll over in his cot. He's gonna kind of give you like an over-the-shoulder look, like how you look when someone's crazy person talking.
Yeah.
He's gonna say, "You're wandering out here onto the ice to look for some giant woman that makes you kill yourself?"
Well, if you want to put it like that, I suppose. If she's in the area.
Can you make an insight check on Stathis? Anyone can make these insight checks, by the way.
I
Fully open
actually
room.
want to do an insight check because I feel like Maurice Marjoram feels like there's something that he's not quite understanding about all of this that he wants to be understanding.
That is a 22 for Cassandra.
Okay. Anyone else?
So
Insight check about Stathis doing
Yeah,
the thing?
on Stathis, but you can make other ones after if you'd like.
So we're
I
rolling.
don't. Yeah, Isidore wouldn't be paying close attention to what he said, honestly.
Thumbs up.
We're rolling d20s.
D20, and then you add your insight if you're proficient in it.
Okay.
And your wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Modifier.
Okay. So then. So add the wisdom modifier. Oh man, that's abysmally low. That's like
Oh no.
10.
Maurice, you're too busy, kind of keeping Clover away from the people talking about scary things, so you don't really notice Stathis. But Stathis, Cassandra, he makes like a thinking face for a second, like he's trying really hard to figure out what your angle on this might be, and then he like kind of like nods to himself in the way it's like, that guy has horns, not gonna let it ruin my day. And then he kind of like goes back to leaning on his elbows, like, whatever you're into, I guess.
I suppose I should make it clear. It's not specifically ice dancer I'm looking for. It's just anybody, I suppose. Any god, that is. She just might be in the area.
Uh-huh. And, you're risking it with the god of suicide. Why?
He kind of tilts his head and he gives a face like he doesn't quite understand like what the big deal is kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're getting a bit hung up here on there's gods of all sorts of things, subjugation, games. If the suicide god is the one that's in the area, then that's the one that's in the area.
Oh, damn, I hope it's the god of games.
I hope it's
he's
the
not
god
very
of
talkative from what
donkeys.
I hear.
Sorry, what did Marie say?
I hope it's the god of donkeys.
There's a donkey god?
Well, that would be fascinating.
He said there were gods for anything. So there must be a god of donkeys somewhere.
I'm sure somebody made donkeys.
Presumably another bigger donkey.
I wonder if they
Maybe
had
two of them.
checklists for the kind of creatures to create.
Cassandra sort of scrunches up his nose and goes, well, Actually, now that I think of it, I think I would prefer not to have a donkey in my head.
Uh-huh. So you prefer the god of suicide to a donkey?
Well, yes, the god of suicide seems much more directed than a donkey, I think.
I think you might have gotten hit in the head by a donkey at some point, but I ain't gonna judge.
Oh no, it was my brother.
Donkeys are
Uh-huh.
workhorses. They'll be there no matter what.
I
But a
think
god of suicide will only be there when you die.
Stathis is gonna nod sagely at that, like, yes. Big wisdom over here. Can you guys make an insight check on Clover?
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
was thinking
natural
same.
20.
Alright.
Damn.
Everyone to make an insight check.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, rip. Okay. Where's my insight? Insight's under.
Got a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's down here at the bottom. It's under wisdom. 6.
Okay. The DC was
Suffering.
10.
Well,
DC was 10. But that's okay. Cassander, you get the slightest of warnings. You see Clover's face kind of go like almost serenely blank for a second. Like she was in high distress before. It's almost like, after Stathis' word suicide for the nth time, she kind of like something in her face just like stops. She stops moving for a minute, and then she's gonna very calmly stand up. You guys all see this. And then she is out the mouth of the cave. She's gone. She's still got the book.
Oh. Goodbye, Miss Clover.
Maurice Marjoram, his eyes widen as he sees this. And then he starts yelling, "Clover! Clover!" And he runs out with like a hand outreach to try and like
Can
pull
you
her
make
back.
a speed check?
A speed check?
Yes,
Um,
please.
The moment that it's clear that like this is actually happening and that Maurice is like pursuing, Isidore's kind of like startled out of her previous like confusion, it induced trance,
Mm-hmm.
and would also bolt.
Okay, yeah, both
after.
of you can make a speed check for me.
Got a 13.
Okay. Isidore?
It's just okay, yeah, so it's not a specific
Speed.
skill, just add my speed mod to a roll.
Yeah, you got it.
15.
15? Okay. You guys are not the fastest. She was just a little bit too quick for you, so you don't manage to grab onto her. But you see her form rapidly fading away. It's now snowing quite hard, but you can see the outline of her rapidly fading away into the darkness. Do you pursue? You following?
Maurice Marjoram suddenly, he's like, he for a second, he seems like he wants to pursue, and then looks at the way she's fading away and stops himself and just starts like shivering and stepping back from fear.
Okay. Isidore, are you pursuing?
Yes.
All right. So you continue pounding along the path where she has disappeared to, and her form is almost like a shadow against the sheets of white that are coming down. And then all of a sorry, intense moment, but my school district is calling me.
You're good.
That's yeah.
It'd be like that. Oh God. I feel like Maurice Marjoram is taking this so personally because one of the last things that Clover ever said to her,
They were
said
just
to him,
repeating that we had a delayed opening. All right, sorry. Yes, she's disappearing against the sheets of white. You can barely see her. She's you can just see like the outline of her running, and then suddenly, she's gone. She's just she didn't disappear. She didn't fade away. She's just gone.
What? I'm confused as to what that means contextually.
As in, you were running towards her and you were looking at her, and then it's like you blinked, but your eyes didn't close. She is no longer there. As far as you can see.
I mean, I just keep running towards where she was until it becomes obvious that like there's no way that she's still there, right? Like,
Well, you approach the spot where hypothetically she was just at, and it's the light of the moon is still enough that you can see a little bit in front of you, and you can see that the ancient book of rituals is laying inert in the snow as if it had been cast aside or tossed aside, maybe thrown. And there is a deep skid mark in the new snow that leads into the woods.
skid mark as in like someone fell and slid?
Yeah, could be.
Is there something I can roll to like quickly assess what I'm looking at, like what this
Sure, you can make a perception
marking
check.
means?
I would accept perception, traversal. I'll give you different things for different things.
I take traversal. I'm good at traversal. Let's figure out what that means. Oh, that's a shit roll still. Okay, so my proficiency, I already did. Yeah, I already added the mod, right? Does the modifier in the character sheet include the proficiency bonus? Is that the intended
No,
writing
it
of it?
does not. You add the proficiency
Okay,
bonus on top.
right, because the numbers in this game are way higher in
Thumbs up.
Dungeons and
We like
Dragons.
big numbers here.
Okay, so
20
base
is a
5
bitch number.
plus the modifier is 8. So it's 13 plus 6, so a 19, even though I rolled shit, which,
All right.
there you go.
Well, you're level what, 20? So there we go. Okay. So, you take a look at the crushed snow in front of you. You notice two things. One, it seems this whatever made the skid mark, presumably Clover, was moving way too fast to have just slipped and fallen, and also she's not at the bottom. So, who can say what that means? Perhaps she was grabbed and dragged. The second thing you notice is that there are footsteps alongside the skid mark coming out from the gray beyond where you certainly did not come from. Someone was running parallel to you, presumably took her off her feet, and now they are both gone.
Are these like boot prints, human
Yeah, they
footprints,
look like
animal
boot prints.
prints?
They look like boot prints.
Just like normal human
Yeah,
boot prints.
like if you were to put your foot next to it, maybe slightly larger boots than yours. But you can tell they're boots. Like they have a sole, they have the flat part on the bottom. They're not like toes.
Mm-hmm. Isidore's gonna kind of turn and kind of briefly run past like where these footprints are, following these footprints.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that that won't get her anywhere.
I mean, you're
like,
welcome to follow them as long as you'd like. Would you like to make any checks before you do so? If you would like to.
Yeah, it would only be for a brief moment before registering that, like,
They do disappear into the woods.
yeah, like before registering that, like, this isn't going to, or I'm not going to, like, actually find her this way. And so just turn back and go back towards the cave.
All right. Are you leaving the ancient book of rituals in the snow?
What's the, go back to it and then like look at it and see if there's anything noteworthy about its state. Like, was it left on a particular page or something,
nope.
or is it just
It's closed, covered down, as if dropped. Like it's deep in the snow, as if it had been dropped when she was grabbed.
All right. I'm gonna pause for a moment, breathing heavily, and it's like pissing snow at this point, right? Like it's
I'm not gonna say it's like a
blizzard.
full-on blizzard, like you're not in danger of getting swept away, but it's snowing hard.
All right.
You can still see the moon.
And just stand there, pick it up and stand there holding it, breathing heavily for a moment. And then with just a violent guttural scream, throw it as hard as possible into the fog and the snow, into the woods.
You want to make a strength check for me?
Yeah. So that's a decent roll. So just no skill, just strength.
No rules, just right.
Yeah. 23.
Yeah, you manage to chuck it far into the trees. You hear it thud against something in the distance, and as you scream, in the short, very, very silent pause right after, something in the distance screams back at you. And then there's silence again.
Like a human scream?
You want to make a bestiary check?
That may answer my question, but I will.
Humans are a type
Um,
of creature. When you get
This
down
is
to
true.
it.
That's a natural 1.
You don't know.
Yeah, no fucking idea what that was. And just kind of choosing to ignore that. Not ignore, but like I'm
Not gonna let it ruin my day!
the. I guess the better question is, does it sound? Can I identify? It doesn't sound like Clover, does it?
No,
But
it
she couldn't
doesn't.
anyway. She had her.
It's, yeah,
That's
it's so warped by the
that's
weather, you assume not, but also she did not have a voice.
yeah. It just registered to me that it doesn't even matter. She couldn't call out for help. That's oh, that sucks.
Tee.
All right. Just gonna not slowly per se, but like at a steady kind of miserable pace, make my way back to the cave, just
Alright, you're
with
gonna
the
pass
air.
Maurice on the way there.
Maurice Marjoram is just sort of trembling, and it's very, very, very clear that he's insecure about crying so much and is trying to keep his tears in, but his eyes are watery enough that you can tell he's really fucked up by this, man. Especially because one of the last things that Clover said before she lost her voice to that book, and consequently was lost in general, was words of kindness towards him. So he blames himself for this somewhat.
As Isidore passes, Maurice just kind of looks at you, and
She's not there no more, is she?
she's gone. Someone or something took her. The book. I couldn't find the book. I couldn't find her.
You're welcome to insight check anytime that you want. Just let me know.
He gives he gives a kind of like weak smile, like trying really hard to keep it together. But then he breaks down again. You just hear.
Oh, it didn't come through whatever noise you were making.
Well, it's like, yeah, she's like sniffling and crying. She's just like, why? Why did it have to be her? Why did it have to be this?
Can you both make a perception check?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a perception check.
Well,
Why
I'm
is it-
rolling so bad today.
It's alright, get
Why
all
is it
the
that
bad
this
ones
is-
out of the way early. You're gonna need
That's a
them.
3. That's a big ol' 3, baby.
Oh no.
Why is it that this is the one time where Maurice Marjoram actually rolls good? 22.
Maurice, now you hear it in the distance. A howling scream.
Does it sound like her?
Wanna make a bestiary check?
Sure. I really wish I wouldn't be getting such high rolls on this, but it feels timely. Oh, god.
Oh, where's my stuff?
15.
15? Oh, that's pretty good. No, it doesn't sound like her at all. It doesn't sound human.
Yeah. He knows that there's the sound is coming closer, and he just sort of, you see him kind of like shove the tears back, take a deep breath in, and go, "We need to tell the others."
Yes. Yeah.
He's already
I'm-
marching towards them. You know, like
I'm
the instant,
I'm
like,
sorry.
but the instant that Isidore says, "I'm sorry," you just hear him go, "It's not your fault. Why would you apologize for something that's not your fault?" It's not your fault.
It can only happen so many times before it starts feeling like your fault.
He nods and then doesn't say anything more as he starts walking towards the others again.
As you approach the cave, Cassandra, have you gotten up at all, or are you still chilling?
No, Cassandra's still sitting where he was, and he's rebraiding his hair.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Conlith is now up because of all the yelling.
Yeah.
And he's kind of awkwardly stumbling about the cave, like, what's going on? What happened? And Alphios is standing by the fire, looking a little bit pissed. Stathis is at the mouth of the cave. He was also considering running out, and then, well, he saw the snow, and he figured the other two were probably faster. But he's the one who's going to greet Isidore and Maurice as they come back. He looks at them both hopefully and says, "Oh, where is she?
He's gone.
What, what do you mean? What do you mean she's gone? You went
I
after her."
I followed her as far as I could, but I couldn't catch up, and then I lost sight of her for it couldn't have less than a second, and something else got to her first. There were
What do you mean something else? The
Something
wolf?
divine, perhaps.
there were
Wha-
boot prints,
He looks angry at that.
human boot prints. Her footprints stopped, and there was a marking in the snow, like someone had fallen or been struck, and then then those footprints and nothing, and we I couldn't track it. The snow's coming down, but within 10 by now even they're probably covered over.
Well, well, it's boot prints. That doesn't sound like no god to me. We could go out there. We could make a lamp and we can find her.
You can.
The sound out there ain't human.
What sound?
I heard it near the cave. There was a sound there, howling. It ain't human.
I heard it too. That we're not alone out here. There's something out here.
Like wolves, right? Wolves.
That didn't sound like a wolf to me. It didn't.
I think Stathis is gonna take like a little step back now, like back into the cave proper, unsure. He still kind of has one foot out the door, like he's still like, well, we gotta go find this missing woman, but apparently there's something outside the cave, and well, it occurs to you in this moment, looking at him maybe in the doorway, that he is not a man who came here with a weapon, even a little bit. He is completely unarmed.
He's got divine retribution. He'll be fine.
He's just a guy.
He's
just
literally just some guy.
he's just some guy.
The power of just being a dude.
It's better than this. Just guys being dudes. But okay. So you two are back in the cave. I think you're probably getting looked at by various people inside of the cave. Stathis for sure looks shaken. Alphios is kind of making like the face you make when you hear your like teenager has just been in their first car accident. Like
Oh.
it was gonna happen, but he's not happy about it. And Conleth is still struggling to get into his cleric's tabard. He's still like halfway into getting dressed. Because he's not quite sure what's going on. Someone's been hurt, maybe someone's missing. He's a healer. He should probably get dressed. But he's struggling.
They're near each other. Cassandra will like walk over, like they were sleeping near each other. I mean, he will like walk over to him. He's not like helping him like put on his clothes or anything, unless he explicitly asks for that. But he will give him like the rundown. He's like, the argument continued. Clover ran off with the book. She was grabbed.
She was
gathering
grabbed?
I don't know. I wasn't there, but it sounds like it. Isidor's back. Maurice is back. Clover is gone. And he kind of stops and he looks, and he looks over. Did you get the book back?
No.
Maurice Marjoram blinks slowly and then
You didn't get the
shakes his
book.
head.
We did not get the book.
Sander, somebody's
And our
missing. I
friend
don't really
is
think
gone.
the book.
Well, the book. Whatever.
It's just
About
a
the book, I suppose. It was not just a book, he says, kind of looking over at Conleth. But I digress. I suppose it is troublesome that she's gone. Perhaps we'll find her. Perhaps she went where we're going. She had a blindfold, didn't she?
Is her stuff still here? I don't know.
He looks at, is Clover's stuff still here?
Clover's stuff is still here, and it appears that when she got up, something fell out of her pocket.
Do I need to make a perception check?
You can make me a scholastics check instead.
Oh, I love a scholastics check. Oh, hell yeah, baby. Okay, sorry, I'm very good. I've been rolling good, and I'm good at scholastics. That's a 28.
Sorry, I went to hit the share button because I have a little document here, and the first thing that came up was my boss's email. No.
Oh.
Here's what I'm doing on a Tuesday night. No. All right, you pick up what appears to be a small leather-bound journal. It's got a variety of different entries. In the first, I'm gonna say good half of it, you can tell where the entries end. The pages become a little bit more uniformly flat when they're not written on. But you can see all sorts of stuff, like something approximately like a grocery list. You know, a list of what different plants do. Here's what poisons not to touch. Ow, my hands. Here's what my silly husband said today. That dumb bitch. No, she wouldn't say that. But you open it to the last page, and first of all, you see that there's a little picture included, like shoved between the spine, or in the spine. And you also see this, if you'd like to read it aloud for the class.
I would love to read it out loud for the class. It's been a while now since I've left. Sleeping out here is hard, and finding enough food is harder. I'm so tired. I want a proper meal. I don't think my head's on right anymore. I guess this is why Elias never brought me with him. He knew I wasn't cut out for it. If I had the money left, I'd at least brought someone with me. He's gonna be so mad at me for doing this alone, but that's okay. I just want to see him again. At last, I finally have a lead. Some town called Siren's Rock. Apparently a lot of travelers have gone to see what's happening there. Sounds like somewhere he'd go. I'm close. I know it. I'll find him. I have to. We'll go home together, and everything will be okay. I'll get back on the road in the morning. I just hope I can actually sleep tonight. And then it's a drawing of a young man with an eye patch is wedged between the pages.
The drawing is accompanied on the back with a note, a handwritten note that says, "Elias, my love."
Aww. Well, Cassandra reads this, and then he closes the book, and he will put it over back by her stuff, because that just seems like the polite thing to do. Well, I think that answers our question.
Does it?
She's going to Siren's Rock.
I
I
think
don't think you
Polyphus
understood
are-
what we told you.
You said it was Boots that grabbed her? Or someone attached to the Boots, presumably.
Yes. Someone
There's people.
attached to the boots.
There could be people out there. Maybe she got found by. Maybe she tripped and fell, and someone from the area found her. Maybe
I
it was
can
her husband.
I can say with certainty that she did not just trip and fall.
Well, maybe in her panic state, they couldn't get her attention, so they grabbed her then. Regardless, I don't. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what any of us are supposed to do about it right now, other than gather our bearings and then head towards the village, which I believe was our plan anyway. Which he looks over to Stathis. Is there any? Are there any other towns of note in the area between where we were and where we're going? Is it just Siren's Rock?
Well, I think it's just Siren's Rock from here. Maybe there were a few down the path, but I don't know.
So from what I'm gathering, that would be the prime location for people to be. And again, he tilts his head and like kind of shuts his eyes as if he's listening to something. I do very much suspect she's been reunited with her dear husband.
I hope so. I
I'm
really
sure
hope
of
so.
it.
He Maurice Marjoram sits down and he puts his face in his hands for a second, and he's like, he rubs his face for a bit, and then he goes, "I've seen so much death. Why does this one hurt so much?"
It's not dead. You haven't seen the body.
Oh, don't talk about a body, please. I don't want to be near any bodies.
It's really not that big of a deal. But I'm
Colin next to you sweating.
he just sort of looks over. A body. They just look like they're asleep.
Well, it
It's
doesn't
really not that
matter to me what
scary.
they look like, to be quite honest.
Have you seen the corpse of someone felled in war? Cassandra?
Too many. Too many. He repeats too many to himself for a bit before he finally gets his breathing right and goes quiet again.
Cassandra he tilts and he looks over. Not war, but I have seen what magic can do to somebody. I know very well. And you haven't seen a body, so I don't understand why we're jumping to such dire conclusions.
Considering the weather conditions out there, even if the person who took her was not hostile and only meant good things for her, even if it was her husband, I doubt that they would survive the night without support or shelter. There's nothing else out there, is there?
Shakes his head. Nothing.
She's a survivalist.
The book that you just read from, she said herself that she wasn't prepared for this.
Well, then perhaps I have some, maybe faith in her. If she managed to come out here, all the way out here by herself, I don't think there's any reason to doubt her safety now. I'm sure she'll figure something out. We've only known her for a few short hours, but she seemed clever enough.
Has anyone... Cassandra,
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone ever told you that you might potentially be delusional?
He kind of stops, and his eyes like widen a bit. Well, one of them widens more so than the other because he does have the Zuko eyes thing going on. And then he kind of doubles over laughing a little bit. And then
Giving you
he
the side eye.
and then
The
he
Joker moments.
and then he pulls himself together, and he like puts a hand like to his mouth, and he's like, "Oh, forgive me. Those were simply the last words my mother ever said to me. I didn't think I'd hear them again so soon."
In the
Well, I
corner of
guess
the
it's-
room, Alphaeus makes like the most uncomfortable face on the fucking planet. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, goodness, that does bring back memories. No, yes, I've been told that. I don't put any
Well,
stock in
it
it,
clearly
though.
hasn't changed your priorities at all.
Of course not. Why would it? God's speaking to me.
How did your mother die?
My mother's alive. My father, too.
Then why are you talking about her like she's dead?
Perhaps it's because... Well, they're not dead to me. I care about them quite a bit. Perhaps it's because I haven't seen her for nearly 20 years.
Alan looks, not looks at you, but like turns to you. That's longer than he's been alive.
I told you this.
I know, but.
No, they told me not to come back until I got my head on straight. Something along those lines. I'm sure they worded it much nicer than that. No women always do.
And, how's that going for you?
Why do you think I'm out here? He kind of looks at him. I know he doesn't see him, but he just turned.
Well, that was Stathis. That was Stathis. Okay.
Stathis? Oh, he's looking at Stathis.
Stathis kind of making a face like. He made an insight check behind the scenes. He's kind of like, okay.
I told you, I'm looking for God. I'm being spoken to. And I really need to figure out who's in there because there's an angel at home waiting for me.
An angel?
Her name's Helena.
Like a person? Or another god?
This is still Stathis talking, right?
Yeah.
The one who can actually see.
The one who I can actually see, yeah.
Cassander sort of shakes his head like he's like shakes his head as it like a head shake you do when you're like getting frustrated
Tut.
with what people are saying to you. Yeah, like it's very. And then Cassandra just says, "Give me a moment." And then he walks over to like where his stuff is, and he lifts up that sack that again says demonstrating on it, and he walks over to Stathis, and he just sticks his hand in the bag and pulls out a pair of letters and and just kind of pushes them into his hand.
All right, link me the letters and it will be read aloud time. Excellent.
There they are.
Hold on, let me take a sip first.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just read the one on top first. And he is gonna read it aloud, unless you tell him not to.
Cassander with his hands on with like his arms are like crossed. Like I do hope this makes it clearer for you people.
Okay, he's gonna kind of nervously look at like the first couple lines of the letter, and then look up at you like, "Oh, are you sure, man?" And then once you make that face at him, it's like, "All right." I'm not gonna do the accent because I will not be able to read and do the accent at the same time. It says, Cassander, we do hope this letter finds you well. I will get straight to the point. Your mother and I have come to the difficult decision to request you refrain from returning to the house in your current state of mind, and to request you do not disclose your relation to the Demos Trading Company. Things have been hard for us since the war, and even harder after the untimely demise of your brother, which you are of course more familiar with than most. We really do hope you get better. It is just we simply cannot afford any further damage to the company's appearance, and you have not since responded to our attempts to help you. So we have decided it is in your best interest to cut you loose, as it were. Perhaps a few years away, we will help you. Sorry, I have my text super small so I can read the tables. Perhaps a few years away, we'll help you clear your mind, so to speak. If you find your condition has improved, you may, of course, reach out to us via letter, and we will consider allowing a visit to assess if the risk of your character has been reduced or not. In exchange, of course, we will continue to fund your studies and your continued survival. You needn't worry about contacting us. We have our ways of making sure you're still out there and of ensuring the money's arrival. This really is for the best for all of us. I'm sure you understand that. You were a reasonable enough boy considering, if memory serves me right about our last conversation. Please refrain from responding to this correspondence. We wish you well, Priam and Hecuba Demos. And then he very uncomfortably flips to the second. Second paper.
Sanders just sitting there like, yeah, no, like, his face hasn't changed much. He's kind of very much giving like, what's the damage? What's your problem?
What's everyone's reaction to this? I think Conlith is making the tail sketch troll's face. Alphios has only become more uncomfortable. Gracia is present but not saying anything. How do Maurice and Isidore feel?
Maurice Marjoram is like becoming I don't even want to say the look on his face is dismayed, but there is like an uncomfortable amount of empathy and like commiseration there in the look that he is giving Cassander at this point in time, because he too has had to deal with people thinking he's a fucking freak for various reasons. So like at this moment, like he's not saying anything, but he rubs a hand over his mouth and sort of like nods and continues giving Cassander this just again uncomfortably empathetic look. He gets it. He's been there.
Mm-hmm. How does Isidore feel? Or Isidore look, I should say.
Isidore looks like the guy having Vietnam War flashbacks meme. Like, staring straight ahead, glassy-eyed, like, trying to internalize and failing what is happening around her.
Cassander has resumed braiding his very long hair, and he kind of nods at Stathis like, there's another one.
Stathis, who is visibly sweating in this extremely cold cave, a bead of sweat runs down his forehead, very shakily moves the papers from top to bottom, and begins to read the second letter. Dear Cassander, hi, we've never met, but Mother and Father told me about you, a little, anyways. I'm not really supposed to be writing to you, I don't think, but we can keep it a secret. If that's okay with you, I guess. If they find out, don't worry, I'll take the blame for it. Promise. My name is Helena, and I'm your sister. It was my birthday a few days ago, and Mother and Father sat me down and told me I was big enough that I could know about you. I knew turning 12 was a big deal, but I was so terribly excited to find out I have a big brother out there. It's just been me and Mother and Father in the house, but they told me you were very sick and were out there getting treated for it. I do hope you get better soon. I really would love to meet you. I'm studying healing magic, so maybe I could help you with your sickness. They didn't tell me what sort of problem it is, but I'm sure one day I'll be able to try. It sounds like you've been away from home for an awfully long time, but I'm sure that just means when we meet, you'll have lots of stories to share. You don't have to write back. I know Mother and Father said you haven't sent any mail or anything since you left, but I really do hope you can find the time to visit us, or even just me, I guess, since I'm not supposed to be writing you anyway. I hope you're doing all right wherever you are, and I really hope you get better soon. With lots of love, Helena.
And one one thing about the letters that I'm sure Stathis can see is the one from the parents is significantly older than the one from the sister.
Mm-hmm. Stathis, he's gonna like move to fold them. He doesn't want to look at them anymore. And then he realizes he's holding someone else's, probably precious mail. And then he quickly unfolds them, and then just kind of like weakly offers them to Cassandra. Like, well,
Yes,
here you go.
Cassander, who has just finished braiding his very long hair, will take them back, and then he will fold them and put them back in their little envelopes. As I hope that makes things clear to you all now. Why I need to find whoever is speaking to me.
No, it doesn't.
Got him.
I nothing here is clear. Nothing here makes sense. With you
Which part? Oh,
or with Clover or I I don't know what to do.
I suppose we keep moving forward. That's what I've been doing.
At some point, moving forward's the only thing you can do.
Forward to the place where the suicide deity lives.
But she doesn't
Alphias
live
is gonna
there.
speak up. Say no. She doesn't live there. To be clear, there is no god where we're going. I can assure you, there never has been.
Real, there is no Warren Bossing say moments.
Cassander again kind of shakes his head and tuts a little bit, like a shame, really. But yes, that is what I've been assured as well.
It would be for the best if we stay together for the time being. Clover ran out on her own, and it's unfortunate, but it appears that action had consequences. So, even if you're not sure what to do, the best thing you can do is stay with everyone else, even if we're not on the best of terms.
Sounds reasonable enough to me.
But no one's going anywhere tonight. So, I suggest we all try to get what little sleep we're able to, because we have to still walk tomorrow. Conleth, you guard the cave. Conleth looks around at Alphios, shuffles around towards him. To which Alphios goes, "You heard me. Guard the cave. You've slept long enough."
You fucking see! Well, I guess neither can he.
No, Alphios just kind of gestures everyone else, like, everyone else, you should probably, go to sleep. Stathis, stands there for a moment. He says, well, I think I want to guard the cave too, seeing as, well, not to be rude, but perhaps I can be a little bit better at spotting what's out there, giving a signal and whatnot. And I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. If that's all right. To which Alphias just kind of shrugs, like, yep, do whatever you want, man. But everyone else, there's no use just sitting here and wondering what's going to happen next. The best you can do is just go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Mr. Cassandra is right. Maybe Clover's husband did come across her on the path and sweep her off her feet. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. We can hope for the best.
Mm-hmm. That's all we really can do at this point.
Alright, Alphias nods like, yep, I've rallied the troops. Good night. And he puts like one foot in his sleeping bag, like, alright, I did my part. Alright, I'm just gonna go through my little players here. Cassandra, what are you doing? Starting from the
I
top.
think he's is Conleth relocating at all?
Conleth is like kind of idling near the not near the mouth of the cave, but like closer to the mouth than the rest of you. Stathis is like next to him. Stathis appears to have found a stick on the ground that he's nervously bumping against his leg, like someone would do with a sword. Um, he's
Oh,
it's
are,
not a stabbing sword. It will break on contact, but maybe it makes him feel safer.
wow, our valiant guardian.
Yeah.
I think Cassander will. He's gonna take his sleeping stuff, and he's going to relocate it, closer to wherever Conleth situated himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he will explain this is well, I think I've done a pretty good job at keeping you in the know so far on what's going on around us.
I mean, I guess, man, but it's a little bit scary what you've been saying. Now I'm on guard duty.
I'm just telling you what I see.
I guess, yeah.
It's not my fault it's not my fault that we've gathered strange company.
He can't look at you, but he just kind of like angle his chin down at you, like, yeah, strange company, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Uh, he doesn't. You can't. I mean, I know he can't see him anyway, but Stathis can probably hear, and people who are looking about in general would see that Cassandra's making a face of like, maybe he knows what he said, maybe it completely went over his head. That seems to be the vibe with this guy anyway. But he reaches into his bag and he pulls out some manner of people who can see can note that it's some kind of like it kind of looks like a book, but it's real flat. And it does make like a bit of like it's a very whatever it is, it sounds very heavy. And he opens it and he seems to be adjusting the letters to sit inside of the cover pages.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. Asathis is gonna kind of look over, like, what you got there? He's not gonna say anything, but he's looking at you.
He can see that it Cassander has a tome. He's always had a tome. That's his primary weapon. That's seated by his stuff. What he's holding seems to be another copy of that same tome, but all the pages have been ripped out of it. It's
Ooh.
basically just the front and back cover of it.
Interesting. Can I have Stathis make a perception check? I'm gonna say, because you're all in a pretty confined space, anyone who wants to can make a perception
No,
check.
yeah. Everybody can see this or hear him. He's not being very secretive
The
about it. He just seems.
clunker.
No, literally, it's a very big, like clunky tome that's like making like
Hey man,
the
nice
front
secret book. I love how loud it is.
No, he doesn't even. I mean, he doesn't seem to be treating it like it's secret at all. He's just opening it. It seems. You can glance.
Sheet open.
You can glance and see that he seems to keep a lot of things in here, but these two letters seem to have a place that go in here.
He got a 13.
Yeah, he can glimpse as he's like, cause he's pretty close by relatively. He can see that on the inside of the like front cover part, somebody who had very neat handwriting has written in like some kind of like nice shiny gold ink. It looks very faded over the years, but it says Hector Deimos.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna have Stathis make just a regular old wisdom check, which might be hard for him. He got a 16. He's gonna. Well, he was the one who read your notes out loud.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, let's tally it. That's not one of the names that was in there. They did mention a brother who's no longer there. He's gonna, in like a very small voice, be like, is that I see it says Hector. Is this someone you're related to?
He pauses for a moment, and he kind of glances down to read the writing, like, oh, that's where you saw that. Yes. He was my messenger. Or some people call him my brother.
Only some people?
He looks up. I believe you were there when I explained that a messenger is when. Were you there when I explained what a messenger is, Mr. Stathis?
It's a dead person, right? Or a donkey. That did something.
It's somebody who engages you in combat, and when you win, you can hear the divine.
I'm gonna have Stathis make a medicine check here. And Conleth. Stathis got a solid 0. That's crazy, dude. Conleth got like a 27. So Stathis is gonna sit there like, what the fresh hell are you talking about? Like, actually. I am a villager. My hobbies include, I don't know, walk around like an NPC and eat bread. And Conleth is a medical practitioner, to which he's now thinking, oh, this guy murdered his brother because he's crazy.
Cassini's gonna look at, he sees Stathis, who I assume is just making a
Yeah,
face.
Stathis is kind of like, he's got a face of like obvious confusion. Like,
And he's going,
like mouth open, like, what?
and
And Conleth looks like he's in danger.
He's gonna make an insight check on Conleth.
Okay.
That is a, hold on, I can do math. 14.
Conleth looks scared. He's never been this close to someone who's killed someone else before. He's not very old, and he can't see.
No, yeah. Cassander sort of, he kind of laugh. He like does like a little like kind of almost like a sad chuckle. And for the first time like all night, or not even all night, but the first, this whole time Cassandra's just kind of been he's been going through life with that like weird froggy smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of falters for a second. Well, goodness, Conleth, you look like my mother did.
Fuck. Okay. Conleth is gonna. I'm just gonna have to make a quick conviction check here. Okay. He schools his face back into a more neutral expression. And he just kind of not looks out the cave, but moves his head so that it's facing out the cave. It's like, what? Cold and a little bit wet.
No. Terrified of a 10-year-old.
Well, you seem perfectly nice, Cassandra. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. People have their reasons.
He kind of tilts his head, and he looks. What's Stathis' face look like now?
I'm gonna have Stathis make another insight check. Oh, he got it. It's okay. 16. Stathis is gonna look at you. He's gonna say, you did. I mean, you seem pretty alright, all things considering. I'm sure you did have a reason if you did anything bad, right?
If someone attempted to kill you, Mr. Stathis, would you raise your fists in protection?
I mean, I guess.
What if that person were your own brother?
Oh. Oh. Um. Well, I don't know if I could, to be honest.
Mm,
I love my brothers.
yes, I did too. He kind of closes the book cover. I suppose that's why I asked for this.
Oh. Well,
When I was 10, my brother said he had something to ask of me, and I went to go meet him.
uh-huh.
Then he sort of tilts his head like back out, and like for the first time this whole situation, his face is like, it looks very, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
And
Huh.
now I can hear things. Now I can hear God. Perhaps he was doing me a favor. I don't know. I didn't get the chance to ask him in between the begging.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's no one deserves that to happen to him. So I suppose I can't really judge you. I don't know what
Hmm.
I'd do.
You know, Mr. Stathis, I do believe you're the first person to say that to me.
He's gonna make a quick check. A conviction check. Oh god. Yeah, he's gonna like look at you agape. Like, what do you mean?
You read the letters.
I mean,
It-
it sounds like you didn't do much. I mean, killing people is wrong, but it sounds like you didn't do that much wrong. And he kind of like looks around at Isidore and Maurice wherever they are in the cave, like, am I crazy or is he crazy? Or are we both crazy? Whose side are you guys on? Whose side should I be on? Is killing okay now? I've never spoken to a murderer. What do
What
Isidore and Maurice have to say? Or at least, the vibe. What vibe are they projecting?
Maurice
uh,
Marjoram is brooding for the life of him. He's sitting pretty close to Alphios's bedroll and keeps occasionally his gaze keeps flicking over there and then is sort of passively like as, sort of Stathis gets more and more worked up, he looks towards what's going on here and what Stathis is saying and is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like doesn't quite know what to say yet.
Mm-hmm. How does Isidore feel?
Isidore has kind of sat down on her makeshift bed and is has been just staring into space this entire time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have Stathis make an insight check on Isidore. Nat 20, baby. What's the
Damn.
vibe?
The vibe is someone who is like outwardly catatonic and inwardly like frantically searching for like a way out
Mm-hmm.
of just like the entire situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In this moment, he feels a moment of empathy. He would also like to not be in this situation. Um, but sadly, he is the one speaking. So he turns
Mhm.
back to Cassander, says, well, for what it's worth, I mean, I don't know about the whole gods talking to you thing. Genuinely, I don't. I don't mean anything bad by it. It's just, well, nobody talks in my head but me, to be quite honest. And even then, uh, you know,
That's
sometimes
lovely.
he's a little quiet. But, you know, you don't seem like an awful guy, so benefit of the doubt.
Oh, no, it was determined. It was very much not my fault. I was just trying to survive. But,
That's good to hear.
well, it's not a very good look, you know. he's kind of tracing his fingers over the book, and then he kind of looks over at his little sack, which is Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a very good look for people, for the community, to have for your eldest son to suddenly go missing, and for your younger son to suddenly be walking about with a nasty scar on his face and talking about how he can hear things. So they sent me away. It was really for the best.
Oh. Well, for what it's worth. Well, I hope whatever's out there isn't what's speaking to you. But I hope somebody out there is speaking to you. You know, show them what for and whatnot.
I hope so too. I want to ask them if
You
they
make
could.
an
Yeah.
insight check on status.
Yeah, that's a 30.
You are immediately. It's obvious that he's saying that to be nice. He knows you're crazy.
Cassandra just kind of nods, shuts his eyes, and he goes, I hope so too. Maybe I can ask them to quiet down so I can go home with them.
Stathis just kind of nods. He's like, well, nobody's gonna be finding anybody today, so maybe, I'll watch the cave, and then maybe Conlith can watch the outside, to which Conlith grumbles hard about being the outside guy. And then says, so how about well, let's just all go to bed, I think.
Whatever you lot want to do. As long as you don't get in my way.
Alright, so, what's the vibe? Do people want to sleep? Are they staying awake? Are they trying to stay awake but fall asleep anyway? Do you want to roll for it?
I mean, Isidore's kind of like awake, but not really present for a while, and then just eventually kind of slumps asleep.
Okay. Good night, sweet princess.
I think Maurice Marjoram is still awake.
Okay.
I'm still debating. Will we still be able to have conversations with the NPCs like once we wake up? So
You
to
can
speak?
have conversations with the NPCs until the bitter, bitter end when I kill all of you. What? Who said that?
Oh no!
You could, in the middle of combat, you can have a conversation with an NPC. Godspeed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mainly asking because I'm considering having Maurice Marjoram's conversation with Alphaios now,
Oh,
but at the
you
same
totally
time, it's like-
can.
yeah. So he's close enough to Alphaios's sleeping sack that Alphaios could, in the darkness when everybody is like mostly falling asleep, can see Maurice Marjoram pull out from his little sack of friend, aside from Turgis. Like Turgis is sleeping soundly.
Oh, good night, Turgis.
Pulls out a tiny little worn piano organ key and rubs
Alphias
it.
can't see anything.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shit. That's right. I keep forgetting. I'm a fool. So yes,
Did you-
he would hear like the rubbing of like a finger against some stone-like substance, and then would hear Maurice Marjoram sadly go, everyone gets someone who misses them. Why is it that everybody who could have ever missed me gets to die?
You guys aren't close enough to see, but Alphias, he doesn't have his eyes open, obviously, but he's awake and listening. If you were to look at him, you'd see his eyebrows just go from like neutral to like scrunched. Like, the hell was that? He kind of turns over in his sleeping sack. Goes, are you doing all right there, Maurice?
Maurice Marjoram looks over to him and sort of like his eyebrows raise a little bit and then sort of sink, And then he shakes his head before remembering and then goes, I don't think I'm doing all right.
Um, you're perfectly safe in the cave, I promise.
I figured that much with all these soldiers and all that. But it's. Have you ever had the feeling that there's something about yourself that people aren't telling you? That's the reason why they don't like you?
Alphias is gonna kind of make a little bit of a face. I suppose you could say that. Why?
Because everybody who says kind things to me dies.
Huh.
First it was Cloverton. Heavens know where she went. And when I was in the war, when I was fighting as a soldier, there was a real nice like man. And he had a nice smile and everything, and he was always so patient with me when everybody else they spoke real mean like when they thought I wasn't in the room. They'd get up and move whenever I sat down to meals with them. But he always sat by me and he talked real nice like. And when he died, he gave me a little organ key. It was from his favorite church, he said. And he said that gods are man's favorite lies. But sometimes you need lies to get through life.
Hmm. That's awfully sad, Maurice. I'm sorry.
Alphias,
Hmm?
I'm I'm sorry if this is too personal. I can stop. But do you ever feel like you're lying to yourself?
Not anymore. I'm a bit old for that.
But you used to.
I think everybody lies to themselves when they're young. It's part of being young and foolish.
So you were young and foolish once.
Certainly.
What kind of things did you get up to?
What kind of things didn't I get up to? Um, I hit people for money. I drank a lot more than I should have. I got in fights when I wasn't supposed to. I was an idiot. But I didn't think I was an idiot. That was a lie. You learn.
What changed it? Growing up.
Getting my lights punched out mostly. Literally. Lady Gracia was nice enough to help me in a time of need.
I see.
It's not hopeless out there, Maurice. You'll find someone who's not going to die on you. I think your largest mistake, if you could call it that, is looking for friends in dangerous places, like battlefields in the middle of the icy wastes.
It's not like I really had a choice on the battlefield front.
I
My parents,
suppose not, yeah.
my parents sent me out against my will. I begged and pleaded and cried. I said, I'm not good with killing people. You can't be doing that to me. You can't be. I didn't want to hurt anybody. But they needed the coins, so I had to go out anyway to fight a war. I, I still don't even know what side I was fighting for. I don't even know what was going on out there in the big wide world. It was, it was, it was foolish. Just as much as, I guess, you seeing getting into fights, drinking like all that when you were younger.
Well, I suppose you can't really be blamed for something your parents chose for you, but you can be comforted by the knowledge you'll never have to do that again, I suppose. It's a time of peace, at least for now. And you seem old enough where your parents can't force you into doing anything.
I I know I should I, I know I should be older than I really am. Sometimes I feel it, but I never I have the words for it, and then people treat me like I'm a child. When I'm not a child, I just find it hard to get all the thoughts out of my fucking head.
Can you make an insight check on Alphaios?
Yes. And ins. Ooh, ooh, that's really high. Ooh, damn. All right. So then, 17.
He looks a little bit like maybe slightly guilty because he was treating you like a kindergartner when you first met, because he thought you were an idiot. And now maybe he's realizing he might have inadvertently contributed to the problem in some way. But he's gonna kind of turn to you, you know, head on hand on elbow, outside the sleeping bag, say, "Ah, well, as long as you're here, um, you know, all of us in this group together, we're going to have to rely on each other, um, in order to, well, I'm not going to say we're going to be in danger, but, things are unsure right now, so no one is going to treat you that way here."
Maurice Marjoram smiles a slow, quiet, like almost like the smile's a bit of a grin, and it's like a little bit audible, kind of like you hear the like the work speaking of
Mm-hmm.
gums. So like Alphias would probably know that Maurice is smiling, but it's like the kind of when he speaks next, it is weirdly absent of the tone of kind of like sort of like not you kind of feel like you're seeing Maurice at the age that sort of like really kind of Maurice is dropping the masks.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it all comes down to choices, right? You chose to get out of all that bad business with fighting on all that, and with the army. I could have left. I could have deserted. I should have, but I didn't because I guess I just wanted to be useful. Because at least if I was useful, then people, even if I was an idiot, I'd be a fucking useful idiot. You know?
I understand that feeling. It's good to feel useful, but I wouldn't blame yourself too harshly. You seem like an honorable type of man, so it doesn't surprise me that you didn't abandon your comrades.
I I didn't. Yes. Even if they didn't like me, even if they thought I was a fool, they didn't deserve to be dying in some war. So I I suppose you're right. Thank you, Alphios.
You did the right thing. Without
And
flaw, you did the right thing.
why do you stay with Gracia, Lady Gracia?
Well, I suppose you could say, she gave my life some purpose after everything. And she hasn't done wrong by me yet. Loyalty. Same as you have.
Yes, loyalty. Isn't it isn't it hard sometimes to sort of fear that your loyalty is gonna fall through?
Maybe. But it hasn't fallen through yet, has it? For either of us.
Aye, that's a good point.
He kind of sticks his hand out of the sleeping bag, almost to shake yours, and he says, "Well then, here, let's come to an agreement. Both of us are going to be very loyal until all of this is resolved. I'll have your back if you have mine."
Maurice says, and his smile is really like wide and like beams across his face. I'll have your back and you'll have mine
Mm-hmm.
till and past the end. And he shakes Alphios's hand like very gently. It's just this like a genuinely like very nice, ideal platonic handshake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, not
Firm
platonic, but
handshake.
you get
Firm
what I mean.
handshake.
Ideal platonic ideal of a handshake.
Mm-hmm. He shakes your hand firmly and then retracts it. Says, "Well, now that we've talked, I think it's probably for the best that we retire for what's left of the night. We do have a lot of walking tomorrow, and, well, who knows what's out there, so we might have to walk fast."
Agreed. But I feel like I can sleep soundly, having had this talk. You have sweet dreams, alright?
You as well, Maurice. You as well. And to your whatever you have, it too.
Oh, Jurgis always has the greatest of dreams. But I'll be sure to tell him you said that.
Well, at least
Good
one of
night.
us is guaranteed to have a good time. Good night.
Oh.
He
And so
rolls
then-
back up into his blanket. Goodbye.
Maurice
Mhm.
Marjoram, he goes to his little sleeping sack and he pulls out his sleep sword and sort of gently bonks himself in the head with it. And then passes out immediately.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night, sweet prince.
Alright. Is anybody still awake?
Probably not. Eventually, he's like sitting where he sat up, and then eventually he'll just kind of like say goodnight to the two men that he just traumatized, and then lay down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, so you guys drift off into sleep. And it's, I'm gonna say, a couple hours pass. You can't really tell because it is sleeping time. But can you guys make a perception check for me?
Yeah, I can do
That's
that.
a 18.
Okay. Is the door?
9.
Okay.
Suffering.
It's okay.
Why is it a 16?
No, I'm
Why
good.
is the
I'm
roll
just
so high?
classic.
What did Maurice get?
Like, I'm pretty sure it was a 16.
16? Alright. Maurice and Cassander. Don't worry,
Yeah.
Isidore. We'll get you updated. Maurice and Cassander. You guys awake to a strangled sort of yelling noise happen from outside of the cave. It's kind of echoes a little bit out there in the distance. You're not sure what it is. All you know is that a loud sound of something screaming woke you up.
Oh. Cassandra will look over. Did that wake up Conleth or Stathis?
I can roll for them.
Well, if I mean,
no and no.
Cassandra will promptly lean over, clap his hands over the two of them. Guards, the yelling.
Well, you see, the problem is they're not
Mhm.
there.
Oh. He looks back. Is Alphios there? Is Gracia there?
Well, you see Gracia's little tent thing, and Alphios is presumably the lump inside of Alphios' sleeping bag. But, yeah, the two lads are not present.
Oh. He's going to get up. He's going to walk outside.
Maurice, are you also following? Are you doing something else?
Maurice Marjoram is, I think he's sort of like getting his armor situated and so on, and like looks towards this and kind of he's going a little bit towards the action, but I don't know if he's following yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cassandra's calling. He's going. Conleth, Stathis.
The strangled sort of noise ceases. And as you poke your head out of the cave, it is I'm gonna say dawn. Like it stops snowing and it's like, the bluish light where you can kind of see around you, but it's still a little bit murky. Give it half an hour and you'll be actually able to see. And you
Mhm.
see that there are two figures kind of huddled on the outside of the cave. Appear to be on their hands and knees, or at least crouched. And one of them, Conlith, angles his head up towards you. Says, it's no matter, Cassander. We're handling it. Go back to bed.
Oh, no, I don't think I will.
Oh, no, that's. Oh.
He continues to walk forward.
Okay. Conlith has one of his arms around Stathis' shoulders, and both of them are still crouched.
What happened here? He
Nothing of
crouches
the
down.
matter. I think you should go inside, or at least put on your blindfold.
He can I make a how's Stathis looking?
Make a perception check.
Got it, bestie. That is a 19.
Stathis has his hands over his face. They are tremendously red. He appears to be
dear.
sniffling or, barely holding back another scream. In one of his hands, he's holding something. You can't exactly tell what it is.
Stathis, did you see something?
Conlith shakes his head. Says, no, he didn't see anything. We're fine.
Can I make an insight check?
Sure, go ahead.
That is a kind of a bad roll, but I'm really good at insight. That's a dirty 20.
All right. So it appears no, he didn't see anything. He says it in kind of a dismissive, flippant way, like obviously he didn't see anything, otherwise he would have killed himself by now. But clearly something is going on here. At this point, Isidore, you want to wake up because you hear Maurice putting on all of his armor.
Yep, Maurice is also putting on his blindfold.
Okay.
Does he need healing?
Is Isidore like actively asleep still at this
No,
point?
I just woke you up. Wake up, bitch.
Okay.
You got woken up by the armor. The putting on of armor.
All right.
Yeah, he's not quiet about putting on his armor, I'm afraid. It's like
What? Wait,
Blanket
what's
around.
going on?
it sounds like
It's-
somebody's beating the shit out of a bunch of pans.
It seems something has happened to our friend Stathis. And why aren't you? Do you not know what happened? Is that why you're not saying?
Listen, it's not that serious. I can fix it. Just go back inside. He kind of
Conleth?
rustles around on his belt for his healing staff, which he had left inside.
Conleth, it is not that I doubt any ability of yours. But if our compatriot here is injured, you don't even have your staff with you.
Conleth freezes, realizing you're right. He doesn't have his staff with him. Says,
Stathis, may I see your hand a moment?
Stathis makes kind of a whimpering sound and then pulls his hands very slowly away from his face.
Okay.
It's very red.
All right. Do not panic. And then he is going to he reaches down by his side and he pulls out his plentiful knife and he presses the hilt, like, the handle bit. And he's like, here, hold this. It will help alleviate some of it. And then he's going to look over at Isidore and Maurice, who are here. Can one of you please go grab Conleth's staff so that he can use it?
Maurice Martram is immediately zooming to get it.
Alright.
In order to hold on to the knife, Stathis drops whatever was in his hand before. It
Alright.
thunks onto the snow.
Cassander's going to gingerly pick it up with his gloved hand.
It is an awl. So, a wood whittling tool. He had it on his belt before. The sharp spike at the end is covered in blood and unknown other jelly-like viscera.
Oh.
Stathis,
Oh, I just saw the screen change. Oh, that's
Oh.
horrifying.
Cassander, without
Oh.
he kind of again very calmly. Stathis, did you do this to yourself or did something else do it?
He nods, which does not answer the question.
Stathis, let me, because since he's holding the knife now, does he have a hand free?
He's still got it kind of mushed up against his face, but technically, yes.
Stathis, can you tap once against your forehead if you did this to yourself, twice if something else?
He doesn't tap, but he kind of scratches along his head once.
He did it to himself.
Yeah, he did it to himself. He did it to himself.
Yeah. Well, you didn't see him, but did you hear when this happened, Conleth? Anything strange?
We were out here,
Uh-huh.
keeping watch, and then he did it. I don't know.
Alright.
He did what? Like, what exactly is wrong?
Cassander will just hold up the awl with the eye. Or what was once an eyeball.
Maurice
Presumably.
Marjoram
my-
is probably racing back with Conleth's staff, and sort
Yeah.
of like he skids up to like hand it over to Conleth and is taking in the scene, and like just looks down at Stathis and like puts his hand over his mouth to restrain like a shocked gasp.
It's alright. Conleth, use your staff. The knife can only do so much. It's better when I do it.
Conleth takes the staff in his hands, which are not shaking, and he raises it and he heals Stathis from what ails him. He's still got blood all over his face and he's shaking quite a bit. And he's got a death grip on that knife, but she's presumably not about to bleed out.
Okay. Now, could one of you go and inform Lady Gracia and the others that I assume something caused our good friend here to do this, and perhaps you should do as our friend said and put your blindfolds on. I'm going to leave mine off for a moment so I can tend to him. And then he's going to he's got his little baggie, and he's going to pull out like some cloth, and if Stathis will let him, he's going to like attempt to clean up some of the well, sir, your eyeball. You poke it out.
Stathis isn't doing much to help with anything right now, so you could just do whatever you want.
That's fine.
Conleth is gonna follow the other people inside. And as you are for just a moment alone with Stathis, you hear him mumbling something under his breath.
I will make a perception check. That is a okay, pretty high roll, which is good because I'm not proficient. That is a 23.
He's mumbling over and over under his breath. He said I had to do it. He said I had to do it.
Who? Stathis.
He just keeps repeating, he said I had to do it. So that I don't see, he said I had to do it.
Can I make an insight check? Does he seem to be talking does he seem to be talking about anyone we can see or like near him, or is he just being crazy?
He's mumbling under his breath to himself. You don't need to make an insight check for that.
Oh yeah, okay, he's being crazy. Okay. Alright. You just hold on to that knife for a bit while the
top 10 things to say to a crazy person.
Just keep that. Enjoy. I was just sitting there like, oh look, we're both crazy. He's like,
you too, buddy.
Cassandra's been told he's crazy his whole life. He's just gonna sit there like one hand on Stathis's shoulder, like kind of steadying him, the other like to hit the best of his one-handed ability, like cleaning up the wound. But then he's going to lean over. Would the lot of you please hurry?
How we doing
inside? And don't forget your blindfolds.
Also, sorry, I just noticed Stathis and Cassander definitely use the same base sprite, which is really funny.
That is very funny.
Just noticed that now.
Oh no!
Just noticed that now. Anyway, sorry. You're in crisis.
Yeah, Maurice Marjoram is definitely like racing with the others. He's like making sure he's got his blindfold tied tight. I realized that he probably wouldn't have seen Stathis's injury at all, but like he knows what it sounds like when somebody's bleeding profusely. This man was on a battlefield, so like I'm pretty sure he put two and two together in his brain, and it's like catastrophizing about how horrible the injury is in his brain as he's like walking with Isidore and Conleth and the others.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
so
guys. Yeah.
do we have any issue gathering everyone up and like
No,
we're
no.
okay,
Definitely not.
we're all just
Mm.
okay, so
Yeah.
we're all like in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Our
bringing
characters are
Vaguely
going
in the
to-
mouth of the cave, which is where
Mhm.
this is happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you've gathered the group, Cassandra will look to the rest of you. Do one of you have a spare blindfold for him? I know he's already gouged an eye out, but is somebody, or do you have his?
He left his stuff, right?
Yeah.
In the cave?
Mhm.
Okay. Isidore is just gonna jog back to his Stathis's stuff and just root around for the blindfold, if there is one.
Yeah, there definitely is. He has it folded up right near his pillow for presumably
Alright.
the next morning.
Grab that and jog back out and hand it to Cassandra.
Cassandra will. Is he only? How many eyes is he taking out? Just the one?
Just the one. Just the left one.
Okay. All right.
You see his little sprite. He's
Staff.
still got the other one.
No, yeah. Stathis, I'm going to tie this around your face now so that you can't see. All right.
Hold on. I'm gonna have him start making come back to reality checks. He quiets down a little bit and he lets you do that.
All right. He's gonna tie it like as tight as he can without making it like too uncomfortable, but it would be hopefully theoretically hard for him to fits with that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you feel better if you kept the knife?
He loosens his grip on the knife slightly. He says, I think, oh, it doesn't hurt so much. I'm not sure why I did that.
All right. Do you remember anything that happened beforehand?
I was,
Anything at all?
No, I don't.
All right. It's okay. The knife did some healing. Conleth fixed the rest.
Can you make an
And we took-
insight?
Yeah. That's a 28.
At the name Conleth, both Conleth and Stathis get like 2% more tense.
Did something happen? He's gonna tilt his head over to specifically look at Conleth. You didn't see or say or hear anything to him before this happened? Where were you before he did this?
We were outside just talking.
About
What's to come?
what did you say to him?
I didn't tell him to do that, to be clear.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think he would actually do it.
What do you mean you didn't think he would actually
Well,
do it, Conleth?
Why?
I'm
I said
just trying to understand.
I said it would be bad if he lost his nerve and took off the blindfold. And that well, I'm lucky because I don't have to worry about something like that because I can't see. And then I guess we talked a little bit and then, well, I didn't think he would actually go through with it.
Did you tell him to poke out his eye?
He could have said no.
Can I make an insight check on Conleth?
Mhm.
That is a dirty 20.
Guy who just taunted a weak-willed man into mutilating his own face because he thought he wouldn't actually do it.
Christ.
I
Oh,
see.
Lord.
That's not in character, but Christ.
Oh
I
dear.
see. Well,
I didn't mean.
he's going to. He's gonna. I mean, I know they can't, like, see. Gracia and Alphios are here. Right.
Gracia's not here. Gracia's in
Okay,
her tent.
But Alphios is here.
Alphios is here, and Alphios looks, let me say, disappointed.
I see. Well, if it makes you. I suppose where my confusion comes from now is I know you said that you may have well, you certainly have said some things to our friend Stathis here. But he was behaving in a way, mm, we'll say, a touch more erratically than teasing from a teenager would invoke. Did you have anything to do with that, Conleth? Or
He
was
got
there
himself
another?
all scared. Every time something would, an animal would run by or we'd hear a noise, he'd immediately turn and go look at it. And then I'd yell at him. It's his fault.
Conleth.
It's his fault.
Well, then can you tell me, you, not him, did you see or hear anything out of the ordinary? Or hear, I suppose.
I mean, there were footsteps in the snow, but it must have been an animal.
What kind of footsteps, Conleth? Did he say?
No,
Did Stathis say?
if he saw anything, he didn't see it. Or he saw it and he's still here, so it couldn't have been anything that bad. But, every time we'd hear something, he'd turn to go look at it. And, well, after the first couple of times, I might have commented, made a suggestion.
Hmm.
I didn't think he would actually do it. It's his fault.
Why would you suggest such a thing, I wonder?
Well, if any of you guys, I know where we're going, hypothetically, and if any of you guys, you turn and you look at something you're not supposed to, it could be bad. So it's maybe for the best that, he can't make a mistake.
Well, do you know where about he saw these footprints? Were they near the cave?
I don't know. I could just hear him.
All right. Could you, and then he also turns, you and Alphios here. Could you stay with him? I'll take the other two to go look at them, perhaps.
Alphios will kind of raise his hand and be like, I think Conleth should go with you. I don't think he and Stathis should be here together.
All right.
I'll take care
Conleth,
of him. I can heal.
Conleth, is that agreeable to you?
Conleth, who looks incredibly guilty and a little bit afraid for his life, perhaps, looks at all of you. What's the vibe from the gang? Isidore and
jeez.
Maurice.
Maurice is pacing back and forth. I think he's still kind of. Have they informed Lady Gracia yet?
No, she's still in the cave. But
So, yeah.
I mean, a lot of this is happening at a loud volume, so maybe she
So,
already
yeah.
knows.
I was about to have Maurice go inform Lady Gracia if she didn't know already, but it seems like she already does know. So
Mhm.
Or was Conleth, like, Ooh, take your eye out. You won't. I bet you won't. I bet you won't.
Maybe.
You fucking teen.
Hey man, did you psych out a guy who is already like really afraid of the situation? Oh, buddy, the Quincy's. They conked for you.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have Maurice Marjoram. He does go into the cave and sort of like near Lady Gracia's sort of little palanquin, as it were, and he sort of clears his throat. Lady Gracia, are you aware of the situation up front?
She just responds with unfortunate.
Understandable. I just didn't want you to be out of the loop if you didn't know.
I am aware.
The situation's handled. We got healing on status and the sort of kind of healing that sorry.
She does not respond.
We stand an unbothered queen.
Whatever.
Yeah,
He
whatever.
sort of he scratches the back of his head and goes, I'm very sorry for wasting your time, and then turns to leave and then nearly trips as he's unused to walking with a blindfold.
I trip, I give you a full shot of my panties, I scuttle away, sadly.
Right at Maurice Marjoram.
No.
Nearly
she doesn't
middle-aged ass man giving panty shots like it's a
He's got a little piece
What?
of toast in his mouth for unknown reasons. Where the fuck did he get that? But yeah, she does not respond as you apologize for wasting her time.
Alright.
What's Isidore doing? I'm curious.
Can I answer that question after we take a quick break because I have to use the bathroom?
Oh yeah, let's
I
take a piss
also have to
break.
It'll be easier for me to answer the question
break.
when I don't have to pee.
Yay, yippee.
Oh.
I'm back. Candy time.
Hello.
Oh. Have the horrors set in yet?
Cassandra said, "Everybody calm down. I'm an expert in insane bitches."
Sorry, he was just not feeling himself.
He's just not feeling himself because it sounds like a teenager who's going neener, you won't take your eye out.
He says, "Oh God, should I? Guess I should." Whatever you say,
Dathis.
little man.
Dathis, you don't have to listen, you don't have to take that from anybody, but especially not teenagers.
I find it extremely funny that Conleth was like, "Yeah, I triple dog dare you. You want pussy."
And then,
Conleth Conleth is the scary 8th graders from the John Mulaney bit about how terrifying middle schoolers are.
correct.
He is the mean middle schooler. Stathis is crossing the other street to avoid.
Real. Sorry, I made another pill bug.
Another one?
The pink one.
Oh yeah, but I was like, you made another one after that?
I still gotta make my mom one.
Oh yeah. I still think you should. Did you make a little bow for her?
Oh fuck! Do I have a like? I don't have ribbon. I gotta go get a ribbon or something.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sure I could find something, like from the
How
dollar
else
store.
How else are you supposed to know she's a woman?
Wow, women. They're so stackable. These things are like croissants.
They're in love.
Orphaned some croissants, and by that I mean sewing pill bugs. I think their baby should be pink on the top and blue on the bottom.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my Baba is You plushie came in tonight, so I'm gonna be getting that.
You is not safe.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
not safe.
I want to play that game.
Oh,
I
hold on,
am-
let me get my
yeah.
tissue box real quick.
I'm looking forward to getting that after the session and just cuddling with it.
Hell yeah. Everybody should have at least one soft thing to cuddle.
Absolutely. I'll
I
name
have
it
over
Turgis.
100.
Baba is us,
Alright, I'm back.
comrade.
Ciao.
Alright. I believe we were asking what Isidore was feeling.
Yeah, how are we feeling, Isidore,
Yes.
about all this?
So Isidore has scrambled awake and put all of her stuff back on in a hurry, not really knowing what's going on, but knowing that there's some kind of crisis. And then kind of stumbles out of the cave and sees what's happening, and not so much in response to like being disgusted by it or like squicked out by the fact that Stathis is injured, but just like a stress response of like, oh shit, something else bad has happened, immediately prompts her to just like double over into the snow and dry heave again.
Oh dear.
And she kind of stumbles up and then is kind of just standing at the edge of the circle of people, just with a kind of indescribable expression, like just
Going through it.
yeah. I mean, you'd have to investigate further to figure out like what the vibe is specifically, but it's not good.
Miss Isidore,
Yes.
would you like to accompany us to investigate these footprints, or would you feel better staying here with the Stathis?
I'll come.
All right.
I might be able to assist you in some capacity.
I have no doubt. Do you have your blindfold, just in case?
Just holds it up and nods.
Conleth has suggested we put them on. And I was going to suggest perhaps I know Maurice is already wearing his. We don't have to hold hands or anything. We're not children, but it would be best if we stick close. And but then he does look at Conleth. Will you be fine walking with us unassisted?
I don't need assistance.
No, I trust that. I will. I suppose we should head towards them then. Put on your blindfolds if you wish. And then he will begin walking towards vaguely where they were told.
Mhm.
Vaguely. Because
Okay.
I mean Stathis was scrobbing and Conleth can't see shit. So sure.
All right. Well, you walk in the vague direction. All three of you walk, or four of you. Conleth is here too. Walk in the vague direction. Conleth and Stathis were kind of gesturing to. You've all got blindfolds on though, so who knows if there's actually footprints over here.
Cassandra doesn't.
Oh, okay, Cassandra, you do see footprints in the snow.
And Isidore would be like falling behind him with the blindfold such kind of pulled forward slightly, such that she could kind of look straight down at her own feet and see like a sliver of ground in front of her, but not what's directly in front of her, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of just like operating by following tracks and like following Cassandra's tracks specifically, such that
When they get there, Cassander he'll stop and he'll tap his he's got that big staff with him. He'll tap it twice in the snow. Like, all right, stop.
did you find something?
There are tracks here. What do they look like, Sam? Just like on first glance, without any further.
Looks like some sort of animal, 4 legs, running.
May I make a bestiary check?
Sure, go ahead.
That's a 16.
Looks like maybe a deer or something. Something with
Hmm.
hooves.
So this was the. Remind me
Had
the context of the tracks. These were something had.
They said they found tracks.
Something ran by, and it scared the fuck out of Stathis. And that's
then
why Conleth
Conleth-
started taunting him into pulling his eyes out, because he's like, oh, well, if it's something bad, you're gonna look at it, because you have no self-control.
These look like deer tracks to me, but I must admit I was not educated very much when it comes to animals and the like.
Isidore would step forward and try to assess them herself, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
By
come
all
on, man,
means.
that's a 4.
It's okay. I mean, you're not sure what animal exactly. Something 4-legged, and they're headed in the vague direction of Siren's Rock.
I don't think that this is anything really. I think that we should just continue forward, I guess.
Oh,
That's-
hello, Gooby.
Oh, Gooby.
Sorry if the mic picked up.
Never apologize for Gooby.
What were you saying, Annika?
I suppose it's best if we keep moving forward for. I guess that's all we can do at this point.
Conleth, you said you didn't hear anything out of the ordinary, and I assume that screaming was just Stathis.
I mean, I heard some howling and animal sounds out there in the wilderness, but yeah, that scream was Stathis.
Can I make another insight check on our little buddy here now that his friend that he clearly looks up to has sent him out on track duty with a bunch of strangers?
Mm-hmm.
That's an 18.
He looks incredibly guilty, a little bit scared, and definitely ashamed.
Conleth.
Colin
I'm
just
not-
kind of frowns.
I'm asking this not to further accuse you or anything like that. I think you're doing that enough to yourself already. And I'm not very concerned with our friend at the moment. it's being tended to, and he's been fixed. But because, well, it could be potentially very serious. You're certain you did not hear anything else out of the ordinary, or Stathis did not say he saw anything aside from animals? He was just behaving in a frightened manner because he's an easily frightened gentleman, not because he saw anything.
There was nothing. If he'd seen something like what we're here for, well, let's just say he probably would have acted a lot like Clover did last night, and we wouldn't be seeing from him much, the way we are. He was
Okay.
just spooked by bumps in the night and everything. Pretty sure he jumped when someone rolled over inside the cave.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything else you wish to tell us before we press on?
I don't think we should go to Siren's Rock unless everyone's with us.
Oh no, we will go get the rest of our compatriots. But is there anything you wish to share?
He says something very quietly under his breath.
I will make an perception check.
You guys can all make perception checks if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a 23.
Mm-hmm.
6.
It's a door.
I'm struggling
No, it's
today.
okay. I hold you gently.
You know what this means, though? When you get to combat, nothing but nat 20s.
Nothing but
God, I
naturals,
hope.
baby. Big naturals.
God, I hope. Big naturals.
Well, big
Yeah.
naturals?
Yeah.
Chat?
Oh, good
I,
lord.
I stand for big naturals.
Gracia. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my.
We haven't
sorry,
seen
sorry.
none
It's
of
a
those
serious moment. Excuse me.
No, yeah.
Under his breath, Cassandra, you can hear Conleth just say, "He's sorry. He's really sorry."
I understand. Do you want me to tell Stathis, or would you like to do it?
I already told him, but it was too late. I didn't think he would. I didn't think he would do it.
He's going to take a hand and put it on between his shoulders and kind of, like a little there buddy kind of rub. And he's like, it's all right. It was granted a very bad mistake, but a mistake.
Uh-huh.
You're I can't speak for the rest of anybody or Stathis. But personally, I'm not going to hold words said by a younger person against them. It was a mistake that I'm sure you will learn from.
I'm never gonna say anything like that to anyone ever again.
Well, there we go.
If you guys go and look at stuff you're not supposed to, that's on you.
All right. It's not.
I think we should just keep moving then.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of got just like a little pat in the Don't worry, little buddy. Don't worry, little buddy. I won't be mean to you like everyone was mean to me when I killed him.
Oh.
It's all right. Let's head back. I'm sure Isidor's right. I'm sure they've gotten Stathis to a workable condition. We really ought to get going. We don't want to waste too much time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you guys return from your expedition outside to find, at this point, it seems like Alphias is doing 99% of the packing, but Stathis is kind of vaguely stumbling around, like, putting things in a box, kind of.
Yeah, I definitely imagine Maurice is helping as much as he can with the packing. Like he's fully
Mhm.
in the focus mode on that front.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, so the boys have it settled. They are packing. So, you guys, after everyone returns, Alphios is gonna say, okay, well, what was it?
Deer tracks.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
We should set out then. We shouldn't waste any more time here. Clearly,
I
the
agree.
cold and the dark and everything's getting to us, so we should make good time.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Sensible.
So, does anybody have anything they'd like to do or say to anyone before you head out into Siren's Rock proper?
No.
Maurice Marjoram clears his throat as he has his blindfold on, and sort of like he looks over to Alphios and he clears his throat. um, I, I'm sorry to offer Alphios, but is it all right if we hold hands? Because I fear I may trip with this blindfold on.
Alphios, who is the only one who came prepared with a cane, of the whole entire party, including both blind people, just kind of makes like an awkward sort of smile. He says, "Yes, you may take my arm if you need."
Yes. Apologies. I'll do my best. Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's all right. And he kind of holds his elbow out awkwardly, like, "Well, grab on."
So Maurice does gently grab Alphios' arm and is like sure to keep himself as steady as possible and to like let Alphios lead for the most part. He trusts
Is it-
Alphios on this front.
And
He's also
then-
holding the palanquin, right?
Yeah, and then after taking a couple steps out of the cave, Alphios stops, says, "Ah, I've forgotten about the cart. Well, perhaps we can pull it together."
Yes. Yes, of course. We can absolutely pull it together.
All right, he leads the two of you back to the front part of the litter, and he kind of like puts your hands on one part of it and grabs the other part. Like, all right, well, this is about the same.
Yes. About the same. Oh, I slipped out of the voice. Damn it.
That's okay. Hold on, I'm getting a ping. Yes, I imagine they pack all of Clover's stuff as well. If you guys want to go through her stuff real quick, and grab stuff from her inventory, you're totally welcome to do that.
What?
Oh, hold on a minute. Let's see.
'Cause she
I know
ran
she
away.
had- No, yeah, hold on. Let me
She
open
ran
her
away
sheet
without any of her
first.
shit. She's got staves.
So my inventory is a little bit full. I can swap out the Serenity.
Definitely doesn't have this in there anyway.
Yeah.
You can
One
also give
second.
stuff to your NPCs if you'd like, because I know we've got 2 staff guys and a guy with no weapons at all.
Oh, actually, may I make a request? Is the party okay if I snatch the philosophy textbook? It gives me a +10 to my wisdom, and I have a skill that does an effect based off of my wisdom.
Very
That
wise.
Sounds good, yeah.
All right, I will swap. I'll just say that he's like swapping out his like little Serenity active skill that he found for fucking forever ago, and he's just gonna snatch that. Thanks, Clover, for running off like a crazy lady.
Now, now another crazy lady or crazy guy will take her. It's all crazy
Sandra's
people
like-
all the way down. Yippee!
Sandra's
In
like,
a good way.
damn, it took you bitches that long to go insane? Didn't it? Oh, now he's got 2 books. All right, cool, great. Oh, no, he's got a +10.
Sorry, I'm
to his
picturing that
wisdom
picture of
mod-
the Simpsons guy with the 2 knives. Like, this is pretty great, I'll admit.
Mhm. And did Stathis want to keep his knife? I forget. Did he
You're
return that
welcome
to?
No, I think he gave it back. You're
Okay.
welcome to put stuff in his inventory though, because again, I cannot stress this enough. He is completely unarmed.
Well, yeah, but on what? But he does have divine retribution,
He does have divine retribution.
which means and he does have a pretty big HP stat also, so we can use this to our advantage.
He's a
Um,
reasonably tanky boy.
let's see. Let's.
Hold on,
Let
I
me,
gotta put gouge on his permanent effects.
Are either Isidore or Maurice interested in any of Clee's staffs or Clover's staffs? We have warding, which increases resistance by 5. We have warp, which lets someone teleport, and warp other, which lets you teleport somebody else.
Are there like prerequisites to using these things?
Only
Do
if
they
it
scale in
says
some
it.
way?
Only if it says it in the requirements. Sorry,
No,
I had
the
a pen in
actual-
my
Okay,
mouth.
so the fact that I'm not remotely a wizard and have
Yeah, you
a
can.
negative proficiency in all 3 magic types.
No, you can use the effects. It's just your damage will probably be ass, but we probably wouldn't want to use these to do damage anyway because they're not very strong as weapons. It's just the effects.
I think I would probably take the staff of resistance, considering poor Maurice Marjoram has a -2 to his resistance modifier.
It's to increase an ally's res by 5. That's
Okay,
the
actually,
effect.
that fits him. That fits him actually.
All
So
right,
yeah, I
go
would- I
ahead.
would
You can
take
go ahead and if you go in, I'll post Clee's sheet
Poor
here.
Stathis' skill modifier or skill growth just went down to a 25.
That's okay. We don't need him to hit things. We need him to stand there and get hit. All right, I put Clee's sheet in the chat. If any of you guys want to just, the things that are in red are the things that have been taken out already for whatever reason. If you want any of the staffs, just go ahead and copy paste them into your inventory. Whatever you two don't want, we can distribute to the NPCs because my inventory is full. So I got
Yeah.
I
Keep
got
in
a
mind,
knife.
you can also give stuff to Gracia, even though she hasn't made an opinion. You could throw stuff into her tent.
Well, her inventory is also full.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
She's got
I
a
guess,
lot of
I
death
mean, I can
runes.
take the warp if no one else wants it.
I'm
Yeah.
taking the
Alright.
warding.
All right. Do either of you want to take the warp other?
I don't think I have room in my inventory for that.
Okay. Well, I know. I already have an idea of who. I was going to slap it onto Conlith if that's okay with everybody else.
Your boy.
I will grab
Yeah, that
that.
works.
Cassander will walk over to Conlith and go. You're pretty good with staffs, aren't you?
Yeah.
All
Why?
right. Can I trust you with this then? And he will extend it and let him feel it.
Alright, yeah, he'll feel it. He'll take a nice quote unquote look at it and say, yeah, I can take this. This is
Alright.
one of the things Clover left behind?
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
It would
she didn't
be-
even bring a weapon. She's dead for
No.
sure, right?
Sorry, clear the chat. Yeah, your legacy. Maybe.
Oh,
I get the feeling we'll run into her
Um,
in the. Whether that's good or bad, I guess we'll find out. But just keep a hand on this for us in the meantime. All right? I think it'll be very useful.
uh-huh. Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. All right. Did everyone get the stuff copied into their inventories that they wanted?
Everyone's
Yep,
all
I did.
inventoried up? Sorry, I'm covered in pill bugs.
Yeah, everyone seems to be inventoried up.
Excellent, alright. Autobots move out, dude. Okay, so, can you guys make me a travel traversal check and pick a victim?
I will be the sacrifice.
Alright, who wants to make the check?
I mean, I've got really good traversal, so.
That
Hell
works for
yeah, fuck me up.
Uptown, fuck you up.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
Oh shit! What happens to me?
You get
So
plus
that's a
5
28.
to...
That's a 34.
Excellent. All right, I think 20 plus is just what the thing is. You get plus 5 to... Give me a sec. Your wisdom for the next combat match.
Shit! Does that go on my bonuses or my buffs?
Your bonuses.
So I now have a plus 13 to my wisdom
What's
modifier.
your wisdom?
That's 36 right now.
Okay, as long as it's not a 50, we're good.
Yeah, no, yeah. Cassandra's so wise. So insane, but so wise.
Very wise. Very unwise.
No, very wise, very wise.
But as you guys are walking along, the weather seems to have cleared up. A lot of the snow is already like kind of either packed down or melted on the road. Doesn't seem like anyone else has come through here, at least that you can quote unquote see, for those of you who are kind of peeking out of your blindfolds. And the rest of the journey is free of struggle. You don't even pass an animal on the road. It's empty. Perhaps a little bit frighteningly so.
Wow.
As you
Peaceful.
as very peaceful, yes. As you get into town proper, again, Alphios reminds you, put your blindfolds on fully.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you pretty much notice immediately once the dirt roads give way to slightly more paved streets, like cobblestone. And ahead, in the front, you hear something go thunk, thunk over the back wheels of the cart. Or under the back wheels of the cart.
Oh.
Maurice, your foot makes contact with something on the road.
Maurice Marjoram lets out a yow, and it sort of like jolts a little bit. I think I kicked something.
Like
Alphios
what?
stops the cart.
Is it a
I
dead
felt
body?
my foot make contact with something. Can I roll to determine the nature of this something?
You can make a perception check, but I will say, all your perception checks, as well as any skill checks at all, you're taking a minus 15, and you're wearing your blindfold. This is combat
Oh.
2. So go ahead and put that in your sheet.
Alright. Into debuffs.
Minus 15.
You have to, just for people who aren't familiar, you do have to put the minus in front of the thing. It doesn't automatically subtract it otherwise.
Yeah, then it's
So wait,
a buff.
where do you put it? Proficiency is minus 15.
In the
So
debuffs
for
column.
proficiency, for the perception checks, you just subtract 15 when you make a check. But for the skill, you can just put it in the debuff column because it's all of skill, so it's all encompassing.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm putting a minus 15 in every slot of the debuffs column.
No, just for skill.
Just
Okay.
skill as in the ability, not
Yes,
skill as in a
yes.
skill.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you call them skills?
Yes.
Maybe you shouldn't call them
It's
skills.
just a little bit of my purposefully injected jank that I like to keep, things spicy.
It's the same problem as D&D using the word level to refer to like 3 different things. It's like,
Yes.
stop. Just come up with, or Magic the Gathering having counters, but also
All right. I
countering.
think that's a bit of a tangent we're going on here.
Yeah, we're losing. I've lost the plot anyway.
The counter. But
Yeah, the counter.
You want me to put that into the NPCs?
Yes, please. If they're
You
blindfolded.
got it.
Or blind.
I think
Actually, you don't have to put it in for the blind people because they know they've been doing this a bit. You guys are
Alright,
newly blind.
So just Stathis then.
Yeah. Gracia is not, to your knowledge, blindfolded. You don't know what she's doing in there. Maybe she is blindfolded. Shrug.
But no debuff for
no
her.
No debuff for her.
Got it, boss. Alright, I gave it to Stathis.
Okay. But yeah, you guys can make a perception check on this thing Maurice just kicked.
That's a negative number, baby. Negative 14 to be specific.
Also a negative number.
Okay.
Let's fucking go.
You guys have no idea.
For once I didn't, but I got a fucking nat 20 on that. It's
Holy
9.
shit.
Yeah, I
That's
got
a
a
negative 6,
9 when
actually.
it's everything is subtracted.
Well, okay. So you didn't get a nat 20.
I didn't get a nat 20.
Yeah.
I was like specifically I got like a
Lamau. That's okay. Alright. With the 9, the rest of you, no fucking idea what he's talking about. Because you can't see it. You have no way of knowing. Maurice, whatever it is, it's slightly soft. Perhaps long, laying along the road.
It's a dead body.
It's soft and long.
Ooh.
I don't like that.
Is there a smell in the air?
No. Not at all.
It's also like below freezing, isn't it?
No,
I'm gonna say it is like just freezing. Like the sun's
Okay.
come up.
Nothing should be soft and cold.
People have been killing themselves, haven't they? In town.
Uh,
Presumably.
I can like
Probably a
use.
corpse.
I can use voices to kind of like triangulate the position of the object, right?
Voices?
Like
where
where
people.
people
Oh
are
yeah,
standing
You
and
can
talking.
kind of tell where it is based on where people are chatting.
Okay. Uh, Visitor's just gonna kind of lean down and kind of pat around on the ground to find whatever's being discussed.
Okay, yeah, you immediately come in contact with something slightly soft and wet.
Okay, but is it like a solid object, or is it like a mush, or is
No,
it
it's solid. It's just soft and slightly wet.
The dead body.
pull my hand back and kind of does it smell like anything?
Now that you've got it up close to your face, you could detect a faint scent of perhaps something iron.
So blood,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Perhaps. No way to know unless you look.
I see what you're doing. I'm not falling for that.
Can't fathom what you're talking about.
Isidore just stands up and wipes her hand off on her coat. Says, I think it's best if we don't investigate it any further. Someone or something is dead here.
Unsurprising.
Can you guys make a perception check?
Yippee!
Oh my god.
That's a 3.
Nope.
That's the same damn roll as last time. That's a
It's a 3.
16 minus
negative
fucking
5.
15.
Nope.
Got a 1.
Nope. Alright, none of you notice. Alphios
Okay.
picks up
Ominous.
his Alphios picks up his part of the litter. He kind of verbally motions for Maurice to do the same. Go around whatever it is and keep
Yep.
moving.
Oh
Maurice is
god.
already picking it up and going his way.
Alright. Excellent. So,
I hope it wasn't what I'm worried it is.
Oh, Clover? I don't think it's Clover. Out of character, probably not Clover. Definitely a dead body, though. That's a human person.
Okay. So, you guys continue
Shit
onwards.
ass dead dude.
Shit, huh? Dead dude.
Yeah.
Stop you begging
Sorry.
me to do.
Sorry, continue.
Okay. After a couple uncomfortably silent minutes of walking, perhaps you're all wondering what was that on the road? Should I have looked? Is it better that I didn't? Lady Gracia finally speaks up, and all she says is halt, to which Alphios immediately stops walking.
Yep.
And then she
Maurice
says
stops walking too.
and then she says, it's just ahead. Alphios gently lets the cart down. And he dusts his hands off. He says, oh, well, that wasn't too terrible a walk.
The Untitled? Lady
Uh,
Gracia?
Lady Gracia remains haughtily silent. But Alphios steps in for him and says, yes, it should be, well, I guess a mere 10 feet in front of us.
Cassander kind of looks forward, obviously has a blindfold on, so he can't see anything, but he does, holding his staff, he does kind of just stare out at presumably where it is.
Well, considering I haven't heard any of you run away or stab yourselves, I assume everyone has their blindfolds on, correct?
Yes.
I suppose.
Excellent. Keep it that way. Well, normally to destroy it, you just have to damage it a bit. It's not usually very hearty. They're made of ice after all, and he's walking away at this point, presumably towards the object. Are you following him?
Cassander certainly is.
Yeah, Maurice definitely is.
Cautiously, but yeah.
Okay. he appears to stop about 10 feet away, as he said, and you can hear the sound of him like tapping something with his hands. He says it's perfectly fine to touch, like eat even if you wanted to. You just can't look at it. Give it a feel.
Cassandra will immediately go to put his hand on it, sort of tilting his head forward
Can you make
as
a
if he's listening.
perception check?
It's a negative number, Sam.
Oh,
But he's tilting his head. Like,
See, perception check.
it's cold.
it's cold, very cold.
So we should be subtracting 15 on every perception.
Yep.
-3.
You don't notice anything. It's just kind of a vibe. There's a cold
And-
vibe happening.
And ice dancer leaves thieves.
Presumably. As far as Lady Gracia says. Like I said, they're not very sturdy. You just gotta do, a pretty firm hit to the side of it and it begins to crack. A couple more and it comes on right down. But there's more of us than I expected, so that shouldn't take long.
Are we in the town?
We are. Didn't you notice when the road changed? It's paved.
No, I
This
did.
must be the middle of town.
No one here. I guess they really are all dead.
Or simply left. Actually, you know what? You guys can't see the town. Here you are.
He's going to move his staff from the other hand, from one hand to the other, and then he's going to feel the Untitled, I suppose, with the other hand this time.
Would you like to make another perception check?
I would. That's a 2.
2. It's cold.
And we don't have any idea what this looks like? Any words on it to your knowledge?
Well, I've felt a couple of them at this point, with my hands. From what I can tell, they're usually, I don't know, several yards wide. Circular at the base, certainly. I don't know how tall they are, but taller than I can reach. Conical, if I'd guess.
Like a spike.
Like a big spike, yes. Then
I
again,
wonder if it's
I can't
my
reach
head.
any higher than my arms, so.
How tall is Alphios?
He's pretty average. He's like maybe
So
5'9".
Okay, so I'm taller than him. I'm like,
Yes,
I know
significantly.
okay.
You're taller, he's wider.
Cassander is going to reach a hand up. If he reaches all the way up and like tries to feel like the point of the spike, is there anything?
No. You're
No?
clearly touching like a significant part of the base. These things are quite like wide diameter wise. It's kind of, but you feel like almost a spiraling pattern to it. Like it's all going to the right, but up.
Oh. What a truly magnificent creation, I can just tell.
Conlith from next to you says, well, don't be tempted to look.
Are you going to give me advice? Are you going to give me some similar advice, Conleth?
Conlith shuts the fuck up faster than maybe anyone in his demographic has ever shut up in their lives.
He's going to like he does like a little like and then he's going to very like kind of calmly walk a bit, like not going all the way around it because it's very because it's far wide, but he's going to take a couple of paces like to the right side of it while dragging his fingertips along it. Does he feel any like grooves or anything?
Yeah, it's made of like big, like twisted strips that are all kind of converging somewhere, presumably dozens upon dozens of feet above your head, if their angle is to be believed, spiraling around and around and around.
It
Sort of like
feel...
a big upside down icicle, but like carved. Like it doesn't feel like it dripped this way.
Did she do this with her hands, I wonder? It's probably made of ice. I don't think it would be red.
Well, no matter how she made it, we're here to destroy it. So, grab something heavy or get kicking. And you hear Alphios make a grunting sound and then the sound of a thud. You guys can all make a strength check for me.
All right. So
All
Isidore will
right.
definitely step forward and attempt to do something.
I don't think Cassandra will.
Oh, come on, man. Okay. I get
He
one
likes
nat
it.
20, and then the rest of the game is just like
Oh.
Yes.
fucking
Oh, I
beefing
love
it.
him getting a fucking high roll for once. And he has a high modifier too.
What did
There we
Cassandra
go.
get? Oh, Cassandra's not doing it. What did Isidore get?
A 1.
Oh, girl.
He
Isidore, you
Maurice
punch through like a hole where there isn't actually any ice. It would have landed, but unfortunately, it's like you punch between two of the spirals, so it's like empty air. Awesome. What did Maurice get?
Maurice has a 25.
Damn, son. All right, Maurice's strike, thankfully, goes directly where it's supposed to. And you hear a clang of weapon against ice, and then a cracking sound, and then suddenly, whatever this is in front of you crumbles, like right down to the ground, like crack, 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 gone. You feel like a rush of cold air as it sweeps by you. Can you guys make like a perception check?
Yeah. -13. No, wait, -7.
Oh, no.
-7.
Nope.
Chat?
Chat.
Jerry.
And we are
3.
back to sucking. -10.
All right. Well, Isidore got in the positive, so today's your lucky day. Isidore, you feel a distinct sense of there was something in the air you weren't necessarily noticing, like some sort of magic, some sort of sensation. But as soon as you break this thing, it
Mhm.
disappears. Like you didn't even realize it was there until it's gone. Kind of like a bug bite. You don't notice until it stops itching.
Is it gone?
You hear the sound of somebody kicking something, which Alphio says, "Yep, looks like it."
What a shame.
Are we safe to, to look?
From Lady Gracia's Ritter, you hear the words, "No,
Okay.
there's something still here."
Wait.
There's
What?
something here, my lady.
Something like what?
The feeling isn't gone. There's something still here.
Is there another one?
Yes.
Where is it?
Okay. So we
Uh,
just destroy that one too.
she thinks for a moment, presumably. She says, "Towards the sea."
Is it?
Alphios moves to pick up his part of the litter.
Maurice is already moving to pick up his part, and his hand brushes against Alphios's for just a second.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna have Alphios make an insight check. He got a 3, dude. Oh, come on, man.
Why?
Come on, man. It's not too late. We can still make this happen. But he picks his stuff up. He's distracted. He wasn't expecting there to be a second one. Says we have to get moving quickly. If there's more
Me
than
too.
one, that's never happened before. This is the 5th one? Or is this still 4? I don't know.
Is
How many are there in total? Or they're just gonna be them forever? Like,
Well, I've only ever seen this would be the 4th one. And we were just gonna keep counting up as we found them. But I suppose, well, there could be hundreds. We just don't know where they are. That's our job. We get rid of them. We find where they are and then we get rid of them.
if Lady Gracia is it doing any? Is the feeling different than the other feelings?
She doesn't say anything for a brief moment, and then instead of answering you, she says, "Alphios." To which Alphios stops moving the litter, he stops moving the litter, and he kind of turns around, says, "Yes, my lady." She says, "Remove my veil." To which he approaches her and presumably does so. But you guys still have your blindfolds on, so you don't know what's going on there. She's very quiet for a moment. She says, "We need to go to the shore now."
Very well. Do we move to the shore?
Do you?
I know
Yeah.
Cassandra
Yep.
is.
Okay, so as you approach the shore, you guys, Lady Gracia is putting out a vibe. She keeps giving you orders to like pick up the pace, move towards the shore. There it is, move towards the shore. And it's clear that Alphaios, who seems to usually know what's going on with her, is being kept out of the loop on something because he keeps asking her like, "What do you see? Where is it? Like where? What direction? What are you talking about?" That kind of thing. And then all of a sudden she orders you all to stop. She says, "There it is. Don't look up." Hold on a moment, please. There's something that she is not telling you about right in front of you.
Is it an Untitled?
She does not answer. All she says is, "Destroy it." And you hear around you there are footsteps, as if people are walking around in the snow.
Lady
Who's-
Gracia. Mm-hmm.
As soon as Isidore would hear that, just immediately just shouts, "Who's there?"
The snow skittering gets just a little bit quieter for a moment and then resumes. Someone is moving around in the snow. You're not sure who.
Lady Gracia, is this an Untitled? Cassandra repeats.
It needs to be destroyed.
What is
Can I
it?
have him roll to see if it's living? I'm pretty sure it's going to be a low ass roll, but I want to try anyway.
It's living? Sure, you
Yeah,
can do that.
Whatever is in front of me is living.
Yeah, I'd like to make a perception roll as well to try to figure out how many things are moving in the snow.
Sure, go for it.
-5. I knew it.
You have
but it's...
no idea.
Also -5.
No idea. You'd have to look and see.
All right.
Cassandra will.
Isidore's weapon is out at this point, and she's adopted like a defensive stance with her back towards where she knows the rest of the party is.
I will also make a perception check. Still blindfolded.
Mm-hmm.
But Cassandra will once again repeat, "Why shouldn't we look up?" He got a 4.
You don't see anything, and Conleth looks at you and says, "Well, that should be obvious."
Can I make an insight check on Lady Gracia's vibes?
Sure.
That's a natural fucking 20, baby.
Oh, hell yes. Even without your blindfold, you can tell like she hasn't been the most positive sounding person. But her voice is steely cold, as if she's encountered something she wasn't expecting and is way out of the depths of what was supposed to be here. Perhaps the artist is here.
Lady Gracia,
She does not
is
answer.
Ice Dancer here?
She doesn't answer. But Alphio says, "Just don't look."
Just don't look.
It's that easy. Just don't look. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're not going to start combat today, but obviously we're going to get right into it next time. But I
Hell
think
yeah.
maybe we roll for our NPCs. So we have an obvious issue here. We have more NPCs than we have players. So I was going to offer that one of you can control 2 NPCs, a volunteer, or I could control one of your NPCs as a DM. That's risky because I might do things to them. Choose wisely.
I was going to say, if you two don't mind, I would be willing to control the 2 of them. Just
I mean,
since...
yeah, you're by far the most experienced with the system, I was going to suggest it, actually, if you're comfortable doing that.
Yep.
Totally.
Thumbsies up. So,
Give me
what
my
I need from all
guys.
of you before we part ways is I would like you to roll a d20. This decides, not initiative, because that's not a real thing. That's a fake thing Dungeons and Dragon players made up to scare you. We're deciding who gets to pick their NPCs first.
Oh shit! Me when I drop my fucking die.
Got a 16.
Okay.
7.
18.
Okay. All right. So it looks like Tiamat gets to pick first. Which 2 guys would you like? Actually, pick your 1 guy, and then whoever's left over you'll get. So pick 1 guy.
Let me glance at their sheets real fast.
Yeah, everyone should open the sheets, see which one looks like it appeals to you. They definitely have some synergy going on. You just gotta learn where to see it.
Yeah, I just want to take whoever I think will have the most shit to keep track of, I guess.
Mhm.
So I think with that in mind, I'm gonna take Alphios because he's got Vendetta.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
just some stuff that I think would be that wouldn't be like, not that I'm doubting either of you two's abilities to like keep track of things. I'm just trying to pick what I think would be the like,
Yeah,
just so people don't get over, because I know
Alphios is
there's
definitely one of the harder units to
no,
control.
yeah, there's a lot of moving parts and numbers in this system, so I'm just trying to take who I think will
Yeah,
be
no,
the
go
most
ahead.
stressful. Yeah, so that's why I'm taking him.
All right, and then who had the 16?
I had the 16.
All right, who would you like? Pick a guy, any guy.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm leaning towards Gracia, but at the same time, I wonder if she might be a hard character to work with. So
I mean, you're
I'm,
welcome to look at her sheet. You have her
I'm
sheet.
look-
I
if-
am. I have her sheet pulled up right now, and I'm looking at it.
If you would like my opinion,
Yep.
she, I think, is one of the easier ones because she's pretty straightforward. She cannot move, so all you have to worry about with her is popping off her active skills or her siege weapon, which is something like you just sit there and you say, I'm gonna, and siege means you can, correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, but her siege weapon is one of the ones where she can just hit anybody. Yeah. Okay, so she can just hit anything on the map. So all you have to do is say, Sam, I'm gonna attack this guy, and then roll, and then you just have to. I think the only thing that might be hard is you just have to remember to add her depth perception +5, but that's pretty simple. Like, she doesn't have anything. Like, it's not like Alphias is like Vendetta where you have to like keep track of who you hit in the number stacking. So I would say she's actually pretty simple. Her
Yeah,
and Staff.
I'll take Gracia then.
Sounds good. I'll write that down. I'm taking notes. Gracia. Oh, no, not Gracias. Thank you, Google. Okay, Annika, who would you like?
Okay.
Got Conleth and Stathis.
Yeah, I'm kind of comparing the sheets. Conleth is. Death is. Did we give him a weapon?
No.
Did we give Stathis a weapon?
No, because of Divine Retribution.
What's.
It's in
If
his
unit
skill.
is unarmed and is attacked, enemy will
I
receive
see.
half the damage dealt.
He also has a ridiculous amount of HP. He does not have overdrive, so you don't have to worry about him having a stroke.
He would also, I would say if you wanted, I won't say it if you don't want my opinion.
What?
Well, I was gonna say I think Stathis might be the second easiest one to manage because it's literally just stand there and give people buffs. Conleth isn't that hard either, though. It's just managing redistribute energy and healing. So either of them are like fine. It just comes down to what would you rather
Personal
deal
preference.
with.
So which one do you think you'd like to control?
Would you rather be a healer or a buff bot?
I'll take Stathis.
Okay.
Okay.
Which means
Just
Sander gets both boys.
mobilize works on units that have no base movement, correct?
Correct. That's the whole point of them.
Okay, so the shtick
How
is that he can
convenient.
relocate our turret wizard.
May
Yeah,
I
okay. That makes sense, yeah.
may I make a very quick request before we depart
Yeah,
for the night?
yeah, you got it. What's up?
May Cassandra roll a conviction check?
Oh, of course.
Oh
Oh no. What did you just do?
Cassandra's going to remove his
No!
blindfold.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold on. Now I have to DM you a bunch of stuff.
That's
Oh,
all,
boy.
folks.
No, no, no! God!
Oh, dear lord.
Yeah, you
sorry.
see this in front of you. Thumbs up! Anyways, next time on the Dragon's Table, this guy's he's gonna kill himself. We're gonna make freaking loose Cassander. I didn't even get to order you, you just did it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh
That
my
was
god.
Cassandra. I guess before we leave for the evening, the people who are adjacent to Cassander, which I guess is, I think that's Stathis, Conleth, and Gracia, you can just hear him go, "How beautiful."
Next to Conleth loudly goes, "Fuck!" And that's where we're gonna end it for the day.
I flutter my eyelashes cutely at you.
I hope that was enjoyable. The plot is happening to you.
God. Oh, that was such a good fucking session. I'm so excited to see the supports.
Oh
chart
yeah,
after
let's do the
this.
supports. Hold on. I gotta update.
Ready to watch
I've already
Cass-
edited my supports for Maurice, but I'm excited to see the others.
I'm like trying to find the support sheet. Where'd it go? There it is. Let's see. You guys are brothers in arms.
Can you, like, pin
now.
the support sheet
Here, yeah,
or something?
it's in the folder with everything, but yes, here I'll
I'm...
post it again.
Oh, here it is.
Alphias, who else did he talk to?
Maurice Marjoram no longer hates himself.
Alphias gonna be with Stathis. Feels bad for him. Oh, Conleth had ampersand with Cassander for a hot second there, but then you forgived him. So it's okay to be friends with a murderer if he forgived you for doing a probably also really bad thing.
Ampersand is pink, right?
Yep. Oh, Isidore. Oh, here, I'll put it on the screen so everyone can see.
The Maurice A frowny face with Clover.
Stathis no longer enjoys Conleth's presence for obvious reasons.
What's wrong, buddy? Did a teenager bully you into poking your eye out?
Sniffle.
What?
Sniffle. He thought it was a good idea at the time.
Why would he think that?
Because he was so scared and there were things out there and the teenager said if you look at them you'll die immediately, you'll explode. And he said, well fuck, I don't want to look at them then. He says, okay, well, what that all do?
Smiley
Aw.
face.
What are you gonna, what are you, pussy? Are you chicken? McFly? And then he said, yeah I am!
And then Cassandra said, out of my way, gay boy, I'm about to get it.
Yeah, you did say that.
Sorry. Gracia kept telling me not to look. So I had to make a little conviction check. She was being all weird. So being all weird.
Oh, weird.
Girl, is God there? You have to tell me if God is there.
You've seen God now.
Wow.
Wow.
Are you in my head? Hey,
Hi.
hey, can you tell my mommy to be nice to me? Hey,
IDK.
should I just kill myself?
Oh, also, you get a special look at what the map actually looks like. Hold on, let me download that from Trike's fucking...
Oh.
Oh,
No, don't look at it! It opened in the wrong screen. No, you didn't see that. Why did it open on that screen? Okay, we're good.
Oh.
You didn't see it. You didn't see
Are
it.
you streaming still?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I did.
It's
Yeah,
alright.
I saw
Nobody
it.
saw it. It was there for
It's
half a
alright.
second.
Nothing
Thumbs
happened.
up. Tantalizing. But yeah, so, does next Tuesday work for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
time.
Am I gonna
Okay.
kill
Yeah.
myself?
Probably.
Are we doing 6 or 7?
Let's do 6. Are we available 6 to 10?
Yeah.
Because I
can
think we could probably finish this, like, provided you guys don't put up a. Well, either you're gonna put up a massive fight and be fine, or it's gonna be a slog fest. So we'll see what it is once we get there. But yeah. Well, I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 6 then. I hope you had a good time. Again, if you have any comments, critiques, suggestions, directions you'd like your character to go in the limited time we have left together, please do shoot me a DM. I keep track of them after each session. Normally I DM you first, but last time you all got to me first, so that was fine. But yeah, so send me anything you want me to know. Thumbs up?
Alright.
Tune in
Yep,
next
thumbs up.
time to see this guy kill himself, I guess.
See, all of you kill yourselves. We do this as a family.
Yippee!
Hey,
All
guys,
right.
keep yourself safe, everybody.
Good night, gamers.
Killing
Catch you on the
myself.
flip side.